This is our story.
This is our story, our journey.
It's your time.
When did we write that?
We wrote Go Slow probably,
2006?
yeah, a lot of years ago. Back when we were
Straight up
R&B to the core.
max.
Yeah, that's all we did was really heavy R&B music. I mean, Go Slow is full of falsetto singing, which people don't do, even in R&B today.
Well,
you know.
it's coming back a little bit.
Yeah. I wanna let you know right here and now, girl, I'm so glad that you finally came around. I was so lost looking for you, searching for love, making all the wrong moves, thinking back on all the times that I've been hurt in the past. I blame myself for just moving too fast, but you, girl, too good to be true, so I'ma take my time with you.
Slow, baby. Can we go slow?
Can we go slow?
Can we go
I need to know,
baby?
can we take our time?
I love you so much, and I don't wanna
2, 1. What is up, everybody? We are supposed to be live, but I see a black camera in front of me. What's up, everybody? We're live, and yeah, we got a full house in the building today. Stan isn't even in the wide. What happened to that? We didn't check that one.
Can't even see Stan.
Yeah,
He don't even know where to go.
But yeah, so we
Camera
appreciate
guys over
everybody who's already in the building checking out the stream. We went live on a Thursday because it was bad weather on Tuesday, and you know, we didn't feel like coming in and dealing with that, so we're like, we'll just move it to Thursday. But it's Thursday, and we are live, and we're doing episode 94 of the Young Lion podcast.
94.
94, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Getting
So-
closer to 100.
Yeah, with that in mind, you're watching Young Lion TV.
Oh, hold up.
What?
Hold up. What didn't you do?
Oh, my bad. Okay, I got you. Hold on. Okay.
He got on you this time.
You're watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
Yeah, that's right. You're watching Young Lion TV. Is the power on that?
Yeah. Try unplugging and plugging in. It did that last time too. Yeah.
All right.
Salud.
Having a little issue with camera one over here, but quick shout out to everybody who's in the chat already. Don't be afraid to say hi, say what's up, drop a comment in there, and share this video, please. There we go. What happened? Just had to replug it.
Yeah, it's been doing that.
Okay, we're back in business.
All right.
Yeah, please, everybody. What's up, Emma? Emma already said greetings, guys. What's up, Emma? I see Gonzalo watching, Mike Lopez, Lexi. My mom is watching, Christina, Todd Hallam in the building. Everybody, please hit that share button for us, please. Just help us with the algorithm. And it looks like we've been authorized to get stars now. I see it in the chat. So if anybody wants at any point to donate to the stream, donate to the cause, to the Young Lions, you can do it right through the stars. I don't know how much Facebook takes of that, but you know, that's one of the options.
They taking something.
They taking something for sure.
Or Cash App.
Yeah, Cash App, Young Lion TV on Cash App.
Yeah, it's for the podcast.
Yeah.
We don't take it.
It's not for us.
All right. So
Your mic is on? Check.
yeah, we get a lot of room noise when one of the mics is open.
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's yours? Okay. Yeah, that
Sounds
one's
so
picking
much-
up a lot of the room. Okay.
Cheryl, hey.
Saker said
Saker,
hi.
hey.
What's up? So, first of all, I got to do the introductions. We got to my left, my brother from another mother, Mr. Simone Chang. What's
Chang
up?
Sim Ud.
Chang Sim Ud. With his nice allagash going on over here. I wish I could join
You know you
on
want
that.
some.
I
You-
do. I wish I could have it.
I want
Mr.
one
Master
too.
Cleanse.
Yeah. We got a full house. We got all the Young Lions in the building today. So we got my brother. He hasn't been here in a long time. The half Indian, half black with the Spanish last name, Mr. James Garcia, a.k.a. Mr. Trinidad James.
He's like, wait,
AKA Mr. Buildright.
Yeah, Mr. Build Right. Yeah, that's what you've been doing. You've been building it right, so we haven't seen you.
That's right.
Too much building going on around here. And we got Jake holding it down as always, and then we got the other brother who hasn't been here in a while, Mr. Stan Golden.
What up?
What's up? All right, is their shot a little dark, or is it just
I'm
me?
gonna
It does
hit
look
him
dark.
with another light after this.
Okay.
After we get that intro.
Maybe you could just boost this one a little bit.
I'll boost it and see, but
You got one more.
You gotta
dark
bring.
brother.
You gotta bring it up because you got two darkness on the
Jake
stage.
can't break it up by himself.
Right. We got some more melanin today in the building. We gotta make sure these lights is working properly. Todd said, "Hey fellas, what's up, Todd?"
What's going on?
What up?
And then of course we got John and Rachel holding it down on the production tip. Now I totally dropped the ball last week when we were on the podcast on Tuesday because I totally slipped my mind that it was Rachel's birthday that day.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Were
she
you
didn't
trying to
say
be quiet
and
about
she
it?
didn't
She
say
didn't say
nothing.
nothing.
Of
Hey,
course,
Right. Happy birthday.
of course, she didn't say nothing.
Late birthday.
Happy late birthday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
How old you turn? 25?
No, 31.
31.
Yeah, 31
You're
years
officially
old.
in there now.
Yep.
31,
Yeah.
you turning back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to make things right with that. I had to do that.
Yeah.
how does it look?
You're number 3, James.
Three.
Yep.
That looks better.
Yeah, so I had to make sure we made that right because I totally forgot. I was going to hit her with that last week and I totally forgot.
Did you get those duck boots for your birthday?
No,
Fancy.
I bought those like a year ago. The best investment. I've put them on every day in
Yeah.
Philly the past 5 days. It's been like, I love you, duck boots.
Yeah, that's one of them purchases where it's like when you need them.
You're like, this $200 is going down, but I'm not going to regret it.
Yeah,
Like,
Are they worth it?
yeah, they're so worth it. These have fur on the inside. I've been in these boots every day in the snow.
Moan, you want to
I
chirp
got-
in on that?
I got a pair of duck boots. I think they were $40 though, because
No, those ain't duck boots. Those are mock boots.
mine aren't insulated. They sound clickety clackety when I wear them.
This is Moan, right? Moan, those are flip flops with the word duck boots on them. Same thing. That's why they pointed out.
Those are chicken boots, Mom, not duck boots. It's a different thing.
But I got to save $180. You don't understand that.
And then I gotta give a shout out to my brother John because a week ago from today he called me up and was like, "Yo, man, I need you to get on me. I got to get my diet together. I got to get it going because this is not working." He had like a bad situation when he was sleeping or something like that. What happened with you?
I woke up with like I couldn't breathe. I was struggling to breathe, and I was like choking on acid reflux.
Yeah. So he called me like, "Yo, you got it." Like he said, he was like, "Is Moan doing keto?" I said, "I don't know. He's kind of always doing low carb or something, but I'm doing keto right now." And he was like, "Well, can you just stay on me and do it with me?" I said, "Well, I'm about to start a master cleanse on Monday."
Put you up to algebra.
Yeah.
Calculus.
I said, "If you really want to do this, I'm about to start a master cleanse on Monday." And he was like, at first, I could tell at first his face, he got real quiet.
I was like, how long?
And I was like, "We'll just do 5 days." So then he hit me back like, "All right, I'll do
Easy,
it."
easy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the least is 3 days, right?
The least that they say, like the minimum,
Right.
but they recommend 10
10,
days.
yeah.
Yeah. But we're just doing
Oh,
5.
I know. We did 10 days.
We did 10. Yeah.
We did 10.
Yeah.
That was,
We did
that was
10.
something.
What's that consist of? You just don't eat anything?
You don't eat any food, but you
Yeah.
drink like this mixture of
It's lemonade, right?
it's
called
yeah,
lemonade.
you get like real lemons. You have to squeeze real lemons and maple syrup and cayenne pepper, and you drink that with Look, he's got it right there. Put it up on your shot. That's the lemonade right there. But the thing, because we were doing keto before we started this, I was like, let's just nix the maple syrup so that we don't take in all that sugar. So it made it even harder. Because like you get no calories and then you just get like
It's
sour
just
ass
tart,
lemon.
yeah.
Tart and the spice of the
I went
cayenne.
over your house yesterday, and I got some meatballs. Awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank you, brother.
I was like, yo, this
Wow,
brother.
he had a-
this-
He was
listen,
making meatballs.
listen, I just want you guys to know, if you tell Jamie this much is good, Jamie's like, but wouldn't this much be better? Like,
if this much is good, then this much must be
Jamie
great.
goes to the next one. Listen, I was like, yo, these are spicy meatballs. These are real spicy meatballs. I was like, all right, brother. But anyway, I went in the fridge
Yeah.
thinking that's lemonade.
Yeah.
And Liz was like, no. I was like, what is this?
Your dad did the same thing. He's like, "Is this orange juice?" Lemonade. He's about to pour him a glass. I was like, "You don't want that.
Right?
You don't want that." It was literally just lemon juice and cayenne pepper.
Right.
You know.
I remember that.
I'm already down 11 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
good.
I already
Good.
dropped 11 pounds in 1 week.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's good.
Which
It
is
works,
good.
man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So,
So-
which month in the calendar you're going to be?
What?
Talking about calendar models.
Oh,
That don't even exist. People don't buy calendars anymore. The calendars on
Calendars right on here.
Yeah. That's a market that doesn't exist. Calendars. But nah, I'm proud of him, man.
Good, man. Good.
Yeah,
That's
man.
good.
And yeah, we're gonna stay at
One
it.
more day.
Shouldn't have to get to that point, but
See, you shouldn't have to do that.
listen, Stan. Them donuts is good.
Hey man, we
He
all
was
got
doing-
our own things we deal with.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what was the most you got up to?
The most ever,
Yeah.
287, I think, was my highest.
Yeah, he was down. His wedding, he was down.
I
What,
was-
245?
I think it was 250 at the wedding, but the lowest I ever got was 230.
Yeah.
Mm.
And now you got back up to 281 because you just showed me that
Yeah,
weight loss, and now you're down to what?
269.
Yeah.
so.
So we're gonna keep going, man.
Keep
We gonna-
going, man.
keep it going, man.
Yeah.
But the lowest I've ever been was 140 in the
Dang.
Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
was,
when you were a young man.
Yeah.
Well, how tall are you?
You're still
I'm 5'11".
Okay. So, yeah, 140 is definitely not.
That's
frame.
too skinny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Too skinny,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you need to be down. What was your goal that you had on your thing? 176.
Yeah, 175, 185.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say your bones will tell you,
Yeah.
you know, when you need to lose weight or put weight back on.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, my legs be hurting.
You can feel it. Man. You can feel it.
'Cause
Especially
that-
when weight comes off rapidly,
Yeah.
you know, you feel it. You're like, whoa, this feels
Yeah.
different, you know?
that helping you.
Yeah, yeah.
You do look a little slim, though.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
put them back a couple. But I do feel the difference, though. I do
Let's
feel
talk
it.
about that. What was going on?
Man, it was right after like the holidays, like the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I just started feeling achy. Like my body felt really achy. I was like, man, but I'm doing a lot of manual labor, so I'm like, okay, it gotta be that.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, I got a massage and everything, and I was like, okay, I feel better, but I still kept on feeling like achy. And then Shaniqua, my wife, tested positive for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, she was like, you should go get tested. So I did, and mine came back negative.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm good.
Mhm.
I'm not claiming this, whatever. I'm good. But later on that night, I felt it. I was like, whoa, like I'm feeling that beginning stages of feeling sick,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is, but I'm like, I'm gonna fight this.
Yeah.
I'll be all right. So, I made my little Trinidadian concoction. I was like, some pepper here, some of that, some honey. I'm gonna work this out.
Put a
Tell
piece
me
of
not-
garlic in your left foot and then a boiled egg in your right foot.
I
Some
rebuke you,
rosemary
COVID. And bro, later on that night, I woke up and I was sweating so much, and she was like, James, and we took a temperature, and I was up there.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, she's like, you gotta. So I was like, no, I'm good. And the next day, I couldn't get it down. I just felt it. And it was the first time in like years I felt like, when you stand up, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you don't get sick that much.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what I mean? And then we went to the emergency room, and they were like, "There's nothing we can do for you. We can't bring your fever down." They're like, at this point in time, even if you go home, they're like, you can't bring this down. So I was admitted to the hospital, and that was that was a crazy day, man.
Yeah.
Because I waited in that waiting room. There was so many people there. I waited there for like almost 4 hours, man.
Wow.
Waiting to be checked in. And they don't have beds. It's just gurneys. You're lucky to get one of those. I don't know if you guys ever laid on one of those. Them thing are stiff.
Yeah.
That's all heck, man.
Yeah.
Did you go to the VA or something?
No.
Just kidding.
no. But listen, in the hospital, they're overwhelmed. I think one thing this exposed is how unprepared medical facilities really are. They're more geared towards like, you know, the typical stuff, but any kind of like pandemic or any kind of like things like this, they're not ready. The nurses would tell me like, we're, you know.
Yeah, and that's why information is all over the place. That's why people don't know. People don't have any answers for you.
I have nothing for you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and honestly, here's the biggest thing I learned. Most of the doctors were honest, and they said like, it's really more an eye opener of how unhealthy we are, like immune systems, health conditions. Because I was in there for 3 days. There was a guy next to me. He's in there for 12 days. Yeah, but he has emphysema. I mean, the floor I'm on, it was pretty much like mostly unhealthy people there. And he was like, "You're leaving because you're." He's like, "You need to lose a little weight." He's like, but even that, when he showed me the weight chart where I should be, I was at 135 to 150. I was like, "Come on, give me that," you know. But
that weight chart is ridiculous.
Yeah. He's like, "Nah." He's like,
they overdo it with that.
Yeah. He's like, what's your optimum? And I was like, probably like 175, 180. Yeah. He's like, okay. He's like, you need to be healthier in that way. He's like, but a lot of people here, it's because of other things. You know,
that's what really people end up dying from.
Oh yeah. I mean, the guy next to me, man, this guy, you could hear him when he's sleeping. He's on oxygen. Yeah. I'm on oxygen too, but you can hear him as he's wheezing to get air. But it is emphysema. He's like, that's the real cause of this. He's like, there's nothing we can do. We can only control the fever. And at that time, the vaccine wasn't out yet. So he's like, there's nothing we could do. He's like, we're pretty much dealing with people with other things that they need their primary, and we can't make that decision for them. So even if they leave here, they would have to go. There's other things at work, you know, which is people are unhealthy.
Did you find it like hard breathing?
At first, yeah, but mostly because of, you know, the cold or whatever it was. For me, it was just like the achy. It felt like basically a severe form of the flu. Like it was just that was what I felt. You know.
Yeah, because I think I mean all four of y'all pretty much had it, right?
Yeah.
And I think you probably had it the worst out of everybody.
Yeah. I lost 30 pounds, but it was mostly water weight. It was mostly water weight, but you know, I couldn't keep anything down. You know, so that was the worst.
Could
part.
you taste or smell?
No, that definitely is unique. Because like I've been sick before, but like after like 4 or 5 days, or at the most maybe 7 days, your taste starts to come back. This lasted a while. I didn't get my taste until like maybe about like 2 weeks after. And I'm talking.
That's crazy.
I've never experienced that before.
I'm talking. I'm putting extra hot sauce and stuff because I'm like, I'm gonna get this back.
Taste it,
right? You know, and I'm not feeling it. I'm like, wow.
I just told Jamie that I couldn't smell.
Yeah, I couldn't smell
after
either.
like the third day, like I got a fever the first 2 days.
Yeah.
I got it down. Yeah. Then I take Noah to soccer, and you know I go outside for the first time. I'm like, Noah, you smell that?
Yeah,
it's like a citrus floral burning
like,
smell.
There's a bee fluttering to the left. Look at him right there.
He's like, no, I don't smell it.
Yeah,
and that's weird. Like his brain smelled something, and then the smell went away.
It all starts to come back to you. Like,
no, this is when he lost it.
Oh, when I lost it.
He got an intense smell of something.
Yeah, that night, you know, I went on Google. I was telling Stan, I was like, what do you...
Jonathan does this all the time.
You're dying of brain cancer.
Well, I got friends that are nurses. I just ask them 1,000 questions.
But you were telling me the other day when you had back pain, like, I thought I had kidney stones. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
And that's the other thing, too, is one of the things he told me is the inconsistency. I was telling you about this. The inconsistency of men and health. Yeah, like he was like talking about like men show up pretty much when like there's penis problems.
Right. That's when they're like.
That's the only.
He's like, that's when guys. He's like, but you have to really check, because for me, one of the things that really put me down, the lung doctor said, because I've been doing demo.
Yeah.
And I wear a mask, but I'm not wearing the right thing, so. She's like, your lungs was...
Yeah, you're breathing in all that
she's like,
material.
Yeah, she's like...
That stuff is harsh.
Right.
I noticed that, like...
She's like, honestly, she's like, that's probably what weakened your immune system. She's like, because I was surprised that, like, my cholesterol was low. And she was like, you're relatively healthy. She's like, you're a little overweight compared to, you know, where you should be. She's like, but... She's like, because I told her what I was doing. She's like, what do you do for a living? She's like... That would have to be it. And she's like, you're in and out of stores, you're touching these things. And I didn't wash my hands or nothing like that. But I am breathing a lot of dust. I'm a woodworker, so I'm cutting wood. I'm not weighing anything, you know? So she's like, you do tend to weaken it a little bit, and I'm tearing down walls that are 100 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that too the other day. It's like we never think about building up our immune system ahead of time. Like I honestly think
Preventative
that's
medicine.
one of the main reasons why I didn't catch it. Like maybe I did, but it didn't hit me because I had been taking vitamin D and zinc for a while before y'all.
That's actually what they recommend was
because I saw that everybody was saying like all the people that have it are deficient in zinc and vitamin D, and those are the two major things that build up your immune system. This is before I knew about quercetin, which is another thing that you should take to make the zinc more soluble, or what is the word?
You had it.
Yeah, whatever it is. So your body can absorb
it more.
But I had been taking that for weeks before all y'all started getting sick. So I honestly think like that probably helped me.
It probably did. Because that's what they prescribe.
I think it helped me kick it in a couple days.
Yeah, because you started taking it.
I had a conversation with Jamie. He's like, "Yo, I've been getting on zinc and D3 and stuff like that." So I went and got it same night.
I was at a ShopRite. To my surprise, as I'm cashing through and hit that button, $170.
Yeah. Yep. That's how much that. Right. And then they tell you got to take that every month. It's like, man. A couple of shout outs to Jennifer Gandy said, hello, guys. Saker said, I would like to get the recipes, Jamie. I guess you're talking about the master cleanse. It's very simple. Basically,
maybe he's talking about your meatballs.
Maybe he is talking about. Are you talking about the master cleanse or the meatballs?
You'll never get the meatball.
The meatball recipe that's
gone.
called Wing It Every Time. I don't know.
Now, the next one is gonna be sweet on that one.
That's how I cook too.
Yeah.
Whatever's in the fridge.
But speaking of that, like you know how much torture it is when you're doing the fast, the master cleanse, and you got to cook for people.
Right.
I had to cook tonight. I made like a braised short rib with a balsamic reduction and garlic mashed potatoes, and I'm like, and the thing is like I'm just making it off of instinct because I can't taste it. So it's like,
but I think once if you know how to cook though, you'll have the measurements.
Right.
Like for me, I don't ever do anything by teaspoon or
this
or that. I mean, you have it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I usually like to at least taste the sauce and make sure it's good. I was just winging it, and I'm like, yo, what does it taste like?
Well, if it's there when you get home, it wasn't good. But if it's all gone, all right.
I'm just hoping that once I'm done on Saturday, I can eat this stuff. I've got to ease my way back into it. I was just telling John that too. Like, don't go crazy on Saturday.
My mom made me some soup, so I'm gonna eat that.
John ain't listening to you. He's like, I have hallelujah.
You're right.
Oh, okay. He said the master cleanse. Well, that's very simple.
You can look it up online.
Yeah, you can definitely just look up master cleanse online. But it's basically 60 ounces of water to like 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice, but you got to use like they recommend organic lemons. Squeeze them yourself, and then I think it's same ratio of maple syrup, like 3/4 of a cup or something like that.
But we did no maple syrup.
They recommend but you got to use the
organic.
The organic,
100%
grade A the dark one. They changed the way they Remember when we first started doing it, was like the grade B was the one you had to use because it was the darker one, but they changed it. So now grade A dark is the one you need.
You can't use Betty Crocker syrup.
Aunt Jemima's
is canceled, bro. Mrs. Butterworth. You just dumping
that's all corn syrup.
Yeah, that's all corn syrup.
Talking about what James was. The whole thing with the medicine, I think it's kind of revealing like us as just like even a people, or even like preventative medicine. It's not just like in our bodies, but also you can even look at it like in the church, you know, like the body of Christ, like how we're not preventing things and we're allowing things and we don't know how to prevent it, and we get decimated by stuff. And we're looking around like, why, God? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think, even with this pandemic thing, it's kind of a wake-up call for us to, like, we need to be healthy
in all facets.
and
Yeah.
not body wise, but also
Yeah.
spiritual wise.
And what you're consuming, sometimes you may not know it. It's just familiar to you, but you're consuming it, but it's
Yeah.
causing you destruction physically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
emotionally,
was just gonna say,
spiritually.
what are you putting in your body?
Yeah.
Right.
Pornography.
Yeah.
That's like
yeah.
a huge thing for men,
Yeah, yeah.
that I've just been hearing a lot about lately. Like, I don't know why I've been hearing about like men struggling with pornography so
I've been
much.
talking to so many people about that. Like,
Yeah.
just trying.
And there's a lot of data now
Oh yeah.
on that, especially what it's doing to young men. Not just, but this next generation and what it's doing to them physically.
Dude, you watch like the younger podcast
Yeah,
shows
yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
They're all promoting
All of them.
Blue Chew and all these like
They all do.
these
They know their audience.
they're all promoting that.
They're
It's like,
interviewing stars.
Yeah.
They haven't-
But I think those type of websites, those type of podcasts, they know the demographic.
Yeah.
And this is where they make their revenue. The podcasters make their revenue from that type of
Yeah.
advertisement, but they're not going to tell you what the long-term ramification. Because in fact, one of the things I watched was about this new thing. It was called porn-induced ED.
Yeah.
And it's happening in young men.
Yeah.
It's not
I've
erectile
seen the
dysfunction
studies
in
on
men.
this. Yeah.
And it was basically these guys it's hypersexualized, but it's through the visual stimulation in the brain, how it works. It's really the mind, really. And they were saying that these guys get used to images that when they do get in front of a real woman,
Right.
their bodies can't function because they
Yeah.
need the visual stimulation of whatever they've been watching, because it becomes about the image and it's the repetitiveness or the access to quick images and click to this, to this, to this, and it becomes this thing. It's so fetishized that a real woman can't do it for them anymore.
Right.
They can't perform.
Yeah.
And there's these young men who are coming, and there's enough of them coming that doctors are reporting like, there's a bunch of young guys showing up here.
Right.
They have the blood. They're not on heart medication or nothing like that.
Right.
Because usually when men show up, they're much older in life. It's something physical.
It's usually blood flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, blood flow or
But
just
these guys are
extremely
healthy.
unhealthy. Yeah.
So they this quantified like a research to basically be like, can you guys look into this? Like, does this mean anything? And it meant something.
Mindset.
I mean,
Image.
Yeah, the mind. It's
the mind.
your mind is, you're sexually aroused through the mind, but then your body's not responding to that.
I tell people all the time, you're rewiring your brain to misinform your body on what a woman is, first of all, what a sexual experience is,
Right.
and then even like what turns you on to be able to perform with a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it goes back to like responsibility.
Yeah.
And like you can look at one end, like with porn, like all this stuff. It's a slippery slope because you look at generationally, you had the Playboy,
Yeah.
you had the like centerfold stuff, then the Playboy, and it kind of got worse and worse and worse. But it's about opening that door, and then doing whatever you feel good about, or even like go back to food, like.
And you can't go back once you see it. You know what I mean?
Especially as a young man.
But it's like eating that sugary food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it tastes really good.
It does.
And it's very satisfying in the moment. But
Very.
But there's something.
But there's a responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
That like and not only that, we're also being programmed by TV and all the different marketing schemes. And these
every
things
show
all affect us.
every show you watch, if you like, I tell people all the time, like
Hypersexual.
we were talking
the
to
news.
Steve.
You seen these girls in these dresses?
That's what I'm saying.
The
Everywhere
Mexican
you look,
don't even go there.
Yeah.
Spanish news channel.
Don't even watch.
That's where it
What are you
started.
watching?
The news.
I'm here all day.
Like Steve was talking about yesterday, how he had to delete Instagram off of it, or was it?
I don't
Instagram?
even have them.
Like because it's like you go down your feed and it's like a bunch of girls that want to get attention, and it just
It's happening on WhatsApp now. Some girl just sent me, hey, like it's like what?
It's the
I don't even
fake-
know you.
check out my OnlyFans.
Yeah,
That's a
I
new
was
thing.
gonna say
OnlyFans, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So-
become so commonplace. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you
It's-
don't?
Oh, you don't do
Right.
an OnlyFans?
Right.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what OnlyFans is? It's a new subscription app that a lot of women are making money off of to take
Peep shows.
very suggestive pictures. They can go as far as they want,
Yeah.
but people pay money to subscribe to see their
that
news
was-
or
But
whatever.
and it's a wide range. It could be teenagers on there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's a culmination point of like what you do to yourself, what you do to your body, what you do to your mind. There's consequences.
Yeah.
And I think we're like dealing with that now. It's kind of funny because like you look at like Biden. What's he laughing about over there?
I don't know.
Made some mistakes over here.
I'm looking like I'm watching the screen like that ain't right.
You look at like how Biden got in, you know,
Right.
And yeah, there definitely was a lot of voter fraud, right? But there definitely were a lot of people who voted for him,
Yeah.
just simply because
They
they didn't
hated
want to have
Trump.
nothing to do with Trump.
Yeah.
And you look at like, okay, this is what you wanted, you know what I mean? And now this dude's signing like
76 was
Yeah. 70.
Yeah, he's got
crazy
the records.
amount
Executive orders.
of executive orders, and it's like, but we let that in.
Right.
You know, you let that in. And I think for a lot of people who are so-called, because like people who don't know, they don't know. But like when you're supposed to be responsible, you know, and when you're not taking up your responsibility, like you gotta, just like you can't unsee something negative, you can't unsee something good.
Right.
The moment you see it, now you're responsible. You know what I mean? Like that's why you know now, so now you're responsible. If you don't know, how can you really be responsible? But that's why you have other people there that can help you be responsible because they know.
Right.
But when we just like, oh, just let everybody do what they want, that's what the church has become. Like, don't get involved in politics.
Yeah.
Don't get involved in people's lives. Just stay back. And it's like, yeah, you get involved, but not in a condescending way, in a loving way, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you're seeing this now, like this thing where we letting things in and then we got to pay the
Yeah,
consequences.
there's a price.
But at the same time, I think it's like for us to just turn to God. Like if my people will turn from their wicked ways, you know, pray, humble themselves, then I'll heal their land.
Right.
You know, so literally heal. He'll heal us. You know, our land, this land.
But that's like sometimes it takes that having, you know, waking up in the middle of the night, can't breathe to say like, all right, this
Like
is my
shock therapy.
This is
Yeah.
that moment where I need
Yeah.
to do something. I need to change something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sometimes like it takes that eye-opening moment for people to be like, okay, what am I doing? And I think that's happening for more and more people nowadays.
It shouldn't have to be, but it can be
Right.
used as an opportunity for you. Can you turn around and look at your life and realize that you're the creator of this, you're the architect of this. The reason your life is in the position, and back to the thing with the young men, and the study that showed that this is why young men aren't achieving. They're sleeping because when you spill seed,
Right.
you drain your body.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
Yeah.
No one, but to be fair, none of the men in our lives ever told us when we were younger that masturbation or this kind of stuff would lead to that laziness.
Yeah.
Okay, lust, right? And then on top of that, you're draining your body. You have
Right.
no energy. That's why you're sleeping all day. That's why weed becomes attractive.
Right.
That's why video games become attractive because you're like, you ain't got no energy to do anything else.
Right.
So you got grown men, young men growing into manhood, and they think that that's part of life.
Right.
And we hear it all the time, but none of the elder men really usher us from boyhood to manhood, but telling us the faults or some of the things that maybe they have gone through. Don't do this because of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it kind of ties into the church too, because they haven't really been telling us how politics work,
Yeah.
how we should get involved. Just stay away. Just wait for your blessings. Sow your seed. This is your year.
Right.
That's what we hear every January.
Or even what we're talking about, breaking down why pornography is bad in a way that's just not like, because thus saith the Lord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What does it do to your body?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it's like the society is like, you know, there's certain things that you shouldn't talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think for
politics and, you know,
But the
personal
thing is,
stuff.
on the other side of things, it's like they do that all the time. They write whole op-eds and curriculums on why masturbation is actually good for you, and it's a stress reliever, and you should all do
it was
you know?
in that school thing that we
Yeah,
showed.
trying to teach
Yeah, that's right,
young
that's right.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, it's just it's a fake thing. It's just to hinder you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the key. We have to push in what God is showing us. You know, I always say the church because the church is supposed to hold the image of who God really is, of Jesus, right? The image of Christ. So, because when you look at it, like, you have words like idolatry, you know what I mean? But it's actually a real thing. You know, when you think about what is idolatry, it's looking at something and upholding it and that becoming your power. So, like, you give yourself, like, you could take somebody like Trump, or you could take whatever. If you think that somebody's going to do it all for you, that's idolatry. Yeah. You know, you're giving your power over to an image of something. You know, an Obama. Oh, Obama, he's the black man that's going to do it all right for us. Like, whatever. It's always, and then you have the experts, you know, you have the commercials that tell you these things. I just saw before we came in here, this whole Black Lives Matters thing, you know, and they were going in deep in it. And it was like, they're doing what the church should be doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the way they were talking, I'm like, yo, this is what the church should be doing.
Because you saw it with the televangelists too. They were blowing in mics and spitting and hawking for Trump. You know, they were just because Trump was the idol for them. You know what I mean? So this happens. You
they
know,
turned it into a whole idol thing. John's off.
And you're right. You're right. I think it's like we're not really paying attention to really who we should be honoring. God should be the one that we honor, not these politicians.
We honor people, but it's got to be in order,
right?
You know what I mean? There's a like in the Bible, there's always these things like with the kings, like they did away with this and they did away with that, but they didn't take the idols from the high places.
And it shows the downfall of the king too.
Right.
It shows the king being uplifted, and then it shows the drastic fall. People forget that part.
They do.
You know,
but like, you know, I was talking to Jamie about this. Like, it talks about, like, whenever it talks about the idols, the carved idols, it talks about the blacksmiths who make them. It talks about the ones who carve them out, or the ones who mold the gold images. But it's funny because God's our blacksmith. He's molding us out. You know, he's forming us. But these things are being formed, and that's what they put their hope in, their power in. So really, it's like now you don't see it, and it's hard to connect it, but really it's just about intellect. It's really just about reasoning. What's the best reasons to do what I do? And then what they give it to you, like, just stay quiet, you know, or stay asleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just keep doing this because nothing's really happening over here. And then people just, yeah, that's right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And they just continue because deep down inside, they just want to stay connected to their sin.
Right.
You know, but it's funny because, like, kingdoms were built off of that. Kingdom's strength came from their images. You know what I mean? They came from the worship of their images.
Right.
So, like, it's
dead rabbits.
It's literally like, how can you weaponize sin?
Right.
You know what I mean? In a way where, and they're ignorant of it. You know what I mean? But why was Israel? They were tested in a whole nother way, or they were judged in a whole nother way because they were held responsible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they had to uphold that image of who God was, but they kept those images, you know, in those places. But so much the prophets spoke about, like, how Israel was formed. You know, it talks about how we were formed in God's image in the beginning in the Bible.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we don't put that together, and we're supposed to be, as Christians, and I say that with quotes because, like, or believers, we're supposed to be that image of Christ. But if we can't see him as the image, then how are we going to be that image? You know what I mean? That's formed. And the forming of that is like, it's actually a servant king, somebody who serves the people. You know what I mean? To give. And that's what fathering, you know what I mean, is. You can father people because you can serve them because you've been through the testing, you've been through the sin, you've been through those things, and you've trusted in the image of Christ. You've held that image in your life. You didn't fall to the other images. You know, you upheld that in your shame, in the people like, what are you doing? You're stupid. You know what I mean? All the ways people try to look at you and call you dumb, even when it doesn't make sense. You know, you're holding on to something, and eventually it shifts. You know what I mean? And now you're somebody who people are looking to. See, now you're an image that's being looked at, but it's not your image; it's his image.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Through you.
But you look at like music, you know, like look at all the times we saw like the Super Bowl with like Beyonce or Katy Perry or Madonna,
Lady Gaga,
and they have these images of all this like stuff, and you're like, oh, that's art.
Yeah.
But no, they're actually just paying homage to an image so that they can become that image that people worship, and they literally worship them. You know what I mean? And they're taking that power.
Speaking of Super Bowl, did you guys see that they've been like touting that at the Super Bowl they're gonna have the first female official?
Oh yes.
I haven't been paying attention to it.
Like they're
gonna have 20,000 fans. I heard.
Really?
What is it in Florida, right?
It's in Tampa.
I don't know. I don't know where it is.
First,
It's they're not locked down like some of the other states.
Is that that plug giving you problems there?
Nah, it's
okay.
my headphones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but anyway, like, there's no thinking of like this woman. Like, I don't know if it's that safe for a woman to be an official on the football field. You see how those officials be getting ran over?
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean?
They've had one there for a while.
They have.
Yeah,
but
she's been officiating for.
Is it the same
for a
one?
while? Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's a problem. It's just like, but what's your intention behind
right.
it?
Why are we making this
Yeah.
like it has to be a thing?
Because she's the first. She's the first one.
At the Super Bowl.
At the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
I'm going to read a couple comments real quick.
Phil Warner.
Jorge Bruno said, "How are you doing over there in the studio? Also, play a joyous song." Maybe we will later. Saker said, "The reason brothers in the new generation in general, they are getting distracted. First, media phones, technology, and the major cause of cancer and cause of sores of illness, and most important, diet. Then you see the up norm is cool, and they are far away from God. Seriously, it's sad."
Yeah, but we got to be that connector.
Right. We got to be that
Yeah.
bridge for those
Yeah.
people. That's why we're always talking about this stuff, because we need people to see guys of our age that aren't just like,
we're not old men,
Yeah,
we're not grizzled.
right.
But we want. I realized I had a couple of young guys on the job, and just talking to them, I realized that this idea that we have, these young people today, they don't do. I think that's a wrong approach.
Definitely.
I think that the generation before, it's looking down on people with judgment, but just to be calm and talk. And one of the guys actually took well to it, like me teaching him, hey, I want you to form good habits.
Yeah.
You're practicing. You're gonna learn the bad habits.
Right.
I know this doesn't feel comfortable, but you need to practice this, because this is how you're gonna get better.
Right.
If you practice this, because you'll spend a lifetime not a lifetime, but you'll spend a long time unlearning the bad thing to get to the
Right.
good thing. Instead of you just focus, it's gonna feel weird. And that's the same way with advice, talking to him and saying, hey, listen, man, focus on your education, getting closer to God, building yourself, protecting your mind, protecting your space, and just talking to him like that. And he responded.
Right.
Now he calls me and he talks to me.
Yeah.
I think we have this thing where these young bucks today,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
immediately
it's
start.
judgment.
Yeah.
It's condemnation.
And if they shut you out,
Yeah.
they shut you out.
And you're immediately shut off, and then you can't gain any ground with someone that way.
I think
Yeah.
like our generation, we kind of like, we grew up in that era of like,
Y'all don't know nothing.
No, we were talking
of
about
like,
this last
live
time.
your dreams.
Yeah. The 80s,
you know what I mean? Like-
the 80s was a time of
yeah.
massive just prosperity,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
80s,
like
90s.
What do you mean, monetary, or just like do whatever you want? Like
both.
I think
the
both,
decadence
yeah.
of the
Yeah,
80s?
like
Okay.
the-
Okay.
Like
know what I mean?
if you just look at the music industry, like
Yeah.
that was the golden age, the 90s, especially the 80s,
90s,
but the
yeah.
90s,
Oh my God,
early
yeah,
90s.
yeah,
It was the
It's
most
like-
decadent
Because
it
we
ever
couldn't
was.
quantify, because there was no way for us. Whatever they showed us, we believed it.
Yeah,
we
cribs.
we couldn't mention. We couldn't.
Pimp My Ride.
We can't verify, but now we can.
Right.
Like that. I remember maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, there was a picture of Bow Wow
Yeah.
And he posted a picture saying doing big things,
Yeah,
heading to
yeah,
New
yeah.
York, and he posted a picture of a jet plane and a Mercedes Benz. And somebody retweeted him, and it was like, this nigga's on the plane with me.
Yeah, he got caught.
Yeah, like you can't get away with
But
that anymore.
in the 90s, you could.
Oh, absolutely.
In the 80s, you could, and we believed the hype.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something with with a Tony. What's her name?
Tony Braxton.
Tony Braxton. There you go. And she was like at the top of her career, but yet her deal was so bad.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
And that she like owed
Yeah.
millions and millions
Yeah.
of dollars. She had to pay for herself to go on tour. Like,
Yeah.
Because they
And-
fronted you the money, right?
Yeah.
The record,
Yeah.
the record, yeah.
They don't tell you that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And
They let you live all this
The girl from
lavish.
TLC explains that.
Yeah, because they
Why
had,
she
they
won
had
the
the same
Grammy.
problem.
they had the same
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
label.
Okay.
Oh, were they under the same? They were on
They're
LaFace.
both under LaFace.
That's right.
Yeah.
She
That's
explains
right.
it. She's at the show with the Grammy saying, let me tell you how a Grammy winner can go broke. And she breaks it down. The one who passed away.
Left Eye.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like seriously, bro. Like she was out there. She was doing that a lot.
Okay, okay.
And she was making
Right,
a lot
right,
of
right,
enemies.
But
man.
Tony Braxton,
Conspiracy.
She actually got paid. She went to court.
Oh, okay.
And she got
back
like
paid.
$22 million.
But she kept her mouth shut for the longest.
But she had to
Yeah.
to get it. she had
right,
to
right.
do a non-disclosure.
How they treating you? Good?
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
but everybody already knew she was broke. Like
Yeah.
they already dragged her name, but
Yeah.
now she can't even say anything
Right.
about it.
You're
you
right,
know?
though, because, man, the 80s and the 90s, even the movies, like when you go back and watch those old movies, it was like very dreamy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're going to
everything.
make it.
Yeah.
You know, every like, I was just watching Cocktail with Tom Cruise, which is a good movie, by the way. But in the movie, it's like the small town person getting out, and it's like you see the bus scene where they get on the
Yeah.
bus. I'm leaving this town,
Yeah.
and the music is playing, and the camera pans out, and they're leaving. They're getting out of small town
Yeah.
USA, and they're heading to the city.
Right.
And the camera shows like it always shows Wall Street.
Yeah.
And like
I
the
love
guys
it.
in. You know exactly what I'm talking
Yes,
about, right?
yes.
And the guys walking down the street in their trench coats and
Yeah.
there's business, and he's trying to get a job.
Yeah.
And it seems like, wow, this is where you got to be.
Right.
You know?
But
No,
that was his thing. They were Cocktails and Dreams.
Yeah, yeah.
Cocktails and
You know?
Dreams, yeah.
That was the name
movie,
of
by
their.
the
They never explained how he afforded the sky high rent in New York. They never explained how he like they don't talk
And it
about
wasn't,
any of that.
and that's the other thing too. That's the misnomer or whatever you want to call it. That New York was cheaper back then.
Yeah.
Not relative to the pay.
Nope.
It has always been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because back then,
And-
the relevancy of the pay or whatever it was.
Right.
You know.
And it was way more dangerous in the 80s.
Yes, it was.
Way more dangerous. Couple comments I'm gonna read. Mom said some fathers think it's a good thing for their sons to watch porn and have sex at an early age. That is true.
Yeah.
A lot of fathers think, especially for their sons, they
Yeah.
think that that's like,
Yeah.
you know,
It becomes because you know why? It becomes
passing of the baton.
Right, it becomes a measure of women do it too. You and
Right.
I talked about this.
Yes.
Well, women are like, "Oh, he gonna get all the girls. My
Yeah.
son's gonna get all."
Yeah.
They talk like that too.
Yeah, but that's idolatry. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
you're putting a false image up, and then you're speaking to it.
Yeah.
and
How many
speaking to
times
people's
have y'all
lives.
seen grown women call their little baby son sexy?
Dude, that's
Yeah,
it's so
that's-
perverted.
Oh, he's sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all haven't seen that?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Depends on what kind of community.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
That happens more in
depends on
certain
what circles.
communities. yeah.
That happens more in the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think masculinity is measured through sexual conquest.
Yes.
And men and women do that.
Well,
And
that's
how
the
much
idea.
how much
that's
you can
pushed.
drink.
Yeah. All of these things that are terrible for
Yeah.
you. Who can drink more? Who can get more? Vaginas on their belt. Like
Right.
all of these things that are horrible
Right.
habits to form.
Yeah.
Become like the
measure,
standard
yeah.
of what makes you a man. You know.
The wrong image.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to live up to that image.
Right.
All right, we're gonna keep going. Phil Warner said two first female coaches, one official. He said, "Man, the NFL is on an agenda for equality to keep corporate sponsorship. It's America, but more so capitalism." That's true. That's true. That's the
It
woke.
is.
The woke thing is the trend right now. So
Yeah.
it's like
But
everybody's
when
chasing
you think
that.
about it, like it's not capitalism. it's a twist in capitalism because capitalism used to be about what the majority,
Right.
like whatever the
That's
majority
true.
is.
That's
now
true.
it's just
It's
like
weird.
the agenda
Yeah.
to make it a majority, to try to twist it.
Because
You know
they'll
what I mean?
do things, even like people have complained about what they did with the Star Wars franchise, what they did with like the NFL, for example. Like they're doing things to lose them money, but that don't care because it still pushes a certain agenda.
Right. So
it's
that's
really
why-
not fully capitalism.
No, it's not.
It's something a little more
It's-
diabolical.
It is.
Diabolical.
Ruining Star Wars for me.
Saker said, "Who is the choosing people is their agenda that has been playing to dominate the world." Yeah, I think he's referring to the NFL thing. Yeah, that's true. That's the Great Reset we've been talking about on here for a while. Melanie said, "What's up, Melanie?" She said the whole Braxton fam was at one point looking as they were broke. Yeah, I think it all got turned around when they started doing these reality shows, and you know, the Kardashians kind of laid that groundwork for a lot of people. Like, just be ratchet and be out here acting crazy, and people will watch you because everyone likes.
Weren't they like? I
They
don't
were
know. I don't know.
squabble.
I don't know why I'm about to say this. Weren't they like a gospel?
Wholesome?
No, they were at first.
At first, yeah.
Braxton
Oh,
Family
Braxton.
Values. That was the name of the show, right? Braxton.
No, I'm saying like when they first.
Yeah, the Braxtons. Yeah, they were like a gospel.
Yeah.
You know.
I was about to say, I thought we meant the Kardashians.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I thought.
And I was like, nope, I just watched episode 1 of that for just like pop culture research. And it was
Like
not.
the very first Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
The very first one in which like the young Johns, the little Jenners are like swinging around the stripper pole, and Bruce is like, hey,
I want to get on there.
Hey, get down from there. I bought that for myself.
sorry, Caitlin, my bad.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah, but it's funny how you're seeing like capitalism swinging in a whole nother direction.
Yeah.
Because even like capitalism really, like thinking about, it's about, I think somebody even said, it's about ownership.
Yeah, democracy is the
Yeah.
majority. Capitalism is strictly about private ownership for profit. It has nothing to do with demographics.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's what it's turned into.
Yeah.
That's what it's turned into, especially over the last like what, 30 years.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's not fully capitalism, but they're morphing it into a new form of it.
Stakeholder
where it's like tied into your emotions.
Yeah.
Where it's like if we can condition you, because people are policing people now. So if we can get people to start saying, why can't we have this? Or why is it always like this? Or, you know, where we can get people to like question why they're doing things, and they're just doing it because they're afraid of ridicule via social media or their peers, they'll win. Because most people are afraid to get into confrontations, you know. Because you brought up that point, people are like, why can't we have a female in the?
I'm gonna swap the court.
You know, now you're arguing.
Yeah.
You know, remember that time we were at his
house for Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had that big argument
Right,
about Jay-Z.
right.
Oh, about
Right.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
right. Most people are afraid of that. They don't
Yeah.
want to deal with that.
Right,
you know?
right. We were all there.
Yeah.
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 People don't like confrontation.
I think people are just used to everyone being of one mindset.
Right, right.
You know.
So they got to put the groundwork in
Right.
because they know the next 20 years is what matters.
But
Right.
but that's been cultivated.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
culture.
No, yeah,
and
of
it's been
course.
cultivated to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's been a program to
right.
to not buck the system in a way.
Even though it doesn't make sense right now, in 20 years it'll be normal.
Yeah.
You know.
Baorup, hold up real quick. Baorup, what's up, bro? Haven't seen
What
you in a
up?
long time. He said you hear about what's going on with the farmers in India. I have heard about that.
What's going on?
Like there's something going on with like the funding to the farmers, like they're like holding back their money or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you can
Shed some light.
more light on it. But I know I did hear something about it, that there's something going on with the farmers in India where like they're not, something kind of similar to how they're not letting people open their businesses here. You know what I mean? But he probably, you would definitely know a lot more than me on that. Real quick, Phil said, corporate politics has bled into our idea of fair and free market. It's a strong threat to democracy and our core values as Americans. Phil got some points over here.
Yeah, man. Phil Warner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like the corporation, the chairs, you know, the shareholders, all these things, they corrupt it.
But we
you know?
see that happening. We see what's up.
Do you have another long one?
No,
Okay.
that's the only long one.
You see-
is that the cable?
I don't know if it's the cable, but it keeps like it'll flicker.
Okay. Well, we have a bunch of shorter ones. We gotta get another long one.
So you,
I was gonna say you see what's going on with the GameStop thing and this whole. Have you heard about this?
Heard about it.
So like you see them protecting their game, their system that they've set up. That's designed to keep the rich.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
They're
then
just mad because someone beat them at the game.
someone figured it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
figured it out.
and the
Someone
good
that's
part
not
is
them.
Yep.
people are seeing it.
Yeah.
But
You
and
know.
the other good part is that it wasn't just one person figured it out. It took a collective of a bunch of people to say
Yeah.
we all have to band together to crash this system
Yeah.
in a way where they can't do anything about it. Because if one person said I'm going to invest $500,000 into GameStop, they would have just squashed it. There's
Right.
nothing. He would have just lost that money. But the fact that they got thousands and thousands of people to put in $100 here, $200 there,
Yeah.
it just totally
Right,
changed
right.
the market on it.
Right.
And now they're doing everything they can to.
Those are our rules. You can't play by
Yeah,
them.
right,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
Get out of here.
right.
And you're seeing this. You're seeing a lot of these things get exposed, you know. But we kind of, this is where we left it, and I started that with what we were talking about, how live your dreams and
Yeah.
all these things that we kind of grew up with. Where it's like, I know for me, like I had that like image in my mind, like, well, my dad doesn't really know what he's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna show him,
Right.
in a way, you know what I mean? And it was just rebellion,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And not to say that my dad had it all figured out either,
Right.
but still, like it really teaches us how not to honor our household, you know,
Right.
and it kind of destroys that community type vibe, and that really started happening like probably like 60s, 70s, and when we grew up in the 80s, it was like
It was
defined
everywhere.
already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everything was rebellion.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, that's what we talked about
Yeah.
that. We talked about
Everything
that.
was chaos.
That movie is like
Yeah.
when you watch it, it's just like
Yeah.
him not wanting to do
Yeah.
what he's
What he's
like,
supposed
to.
It's like buck against all
Right.
authority, you know.
And that's what it was a lot.
Yeah.
The cool guy
Yeah.
is the guy who doesn't do what everybody thinks he should do.
the Fonz.
And it's like, and it's not, it's
No,
not all
hey.
like,
It's not, hey.
This is an Italian thing.
I don't know. It's the
Rach?
that's definitely.
I don't know. I feel like the
Italian
Fonz took like a little bit of like the street guy, the New York guy, the Italian guy, like sort of smashed it all together.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a conglomeration.
His name is
'Cause
Henry
Winkler, so
and
he's Jewish,
definitely
right?
A Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Jewish.
But he kind of took that like, you know, street
Act like these
bad
guys.
boy. Hey.
Philip said they've manipulated the market for years and numbers beat them. Yep. That's
Yeah,
what
man.
That's exactly
What
what
we're
now they're
seeing
like-
is basically what the housing crisis was. We're seeing like how that was a secret,
Yeah.
and that one lawyer tried to uncover it, but he didn't have the network and the resources to do it. We're seeing that play out, but through a more organized version of it.
Right.
Like, these
Yeah.
people were able to coordinate that, because if the housing crisis was, if nobody knew that, that'd probably be unraveled through to the internet.
Yeah.
But we're seeing them coordinate something
Yeah.
that they never thought this would happen.
On a message board
On a
system.
message board.
Yeah.
That Reddit message board has like 8 million members now. 8 million followers on
Right.
that Wall Street
Right.
Bets, yeah.
Wall Street bets,
Right.
which they're trying to completely just demonize now.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
I've
And
seen
yeah.
all these news articles talking about like
and that's what you're gonna start seeing more and more, because people are gonna start like seeing something and okay, let's try to deal with this, and then you're gonna see they try to shut that down.
Right.
They try to shut
Yeah.
this down.
Politicians, yeah.
Right.
And more, that's what's gonna make people start. Oh, wait a minute.
right.
Yeah.
They're going with the white supremacist
Yeah.
route.
But
The
that's what
Trumpism.
But this is what I'm saying. So imagine to all the people that are on Wall Street bets that hate Trump, because there's a lot of
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
left leaning liberals that wanted to crash the stock market, wanted to get rid of these hedge fund billionaires that are involved in this, and they're like, "You're calling me a Trump supporter? You're calling me a white supremacist? Like, what are you?" So it's red pilling them too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because they know what's going on. It's just that this is the first time something has been coordinated at this level.
Right.
It's probably not the best idea to kind of like crash things.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Like even with the whole stuff with Trump not getting in, and people saying
Trying to
like the
seize
whole
the
QAnon
Capitol.
thing,
Yeah,
and
QAnon.
like people thinking, oh no, this is gonna happen, and they're gonna do this, and the military is gonna take control. Like that's probably not the best option, because that's gonna cause a lot of division.
Dude, it was crazy when they're like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna declare martial law, and then we're gonna have 2 weeks of a black." I'm like, that sounds like terrible. That sounds terrible.
I don't want him to win that bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
sometimes,
go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes it's like in wishing for victory, you forget that you put chaos on yourself too.
Yes,
that makes no sense.
You want to win. You want to just win so bad.
Oh, I'm going out with it.
Right.
I didn't mean that.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how like I noticed this like with God, like was I telling you guys? Yeah, about Big. Yeah, the movie Big,
the
right?
Movie Big, yeah.
So
another 80s movie.
Yeah, another 80s
Oh,
movie.
yeah. Oh, my God. Shanika was like, shut it off. Jeez, you're ruining this thing.
Why? Because we always do.
Yeah, 1988 that came out. So just to put this in perspective of like what I was seeing, it's a kid.
Yeah.
12 years old, 13, something like that, right?
I think he's 13, yeah.
And he's just, getting into girls and the girl that he wants to talk to, the boyfriend's there, but he's trying to impress her, tries to get on the ride. He can't get on the ride because he's too small.
Right.
That's horrible for him.
Right.
That is, right, at the moment, it's devastation, right? And instead of having parents that can even recognize this, his parents look like some idiots on the side. And that's the problem that we always have is that how are the parents are always portrayed like
the dummies.
They don't know anything.
That is true. That is true.
You know what I mean? But really, he's in a place where he needs help.
He needs guidance.
But he's going to make an agreement with the wrong entity.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Now he's going to make an agreement with an idol. Totally how can I get big? Yeah. And now he goes to this thing where he makes a
little
wish.
Quarter thing.
Yeah, puts a quarter in.
Give me a quarter and I'll read your fortune.
And it's funny because I was telling him, like, this just came on and I was watching it with Jakey and I said, you see how you can make a decision and everything in the world, like, goes away because you feel like this is so horrible in your life when really it's stupid.
Yeah.
And then you make this decision and it can affect you for.
Then you turn a grown woman into a pedophile. She doesn't even
know. Because if it was the opposite
even when
way
I watched
around,
it was weird.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much in that movie like that just
because it's a 13-year-old boy.
And it's Tom Hanks.
Yep. Yeah. That's why I showed the picture because it's Tom Hanks too.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think a lot of times we don't. Like with God, we're like we go to God like, please deal with this thing that's in front of me that's so horrible in my mind.
Yeah.
God turns around everything for good.
Yeah.
No, not for your good, Danny, for his good.
You don't know what's good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he'll like, he's looking at the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, all right. If you lay that down, like that's the thing. Like we got to lay it down. It's like, no, do this, do this. And I think like, it's the same thing like what happened with Trump. Like, no, he's going to be out. Do this, God. Right. You know what I mean? And then it's like you miss what God is actually doing because you're caught up by your limited way of seeing who he is, you know? Or
let me read a couple more comments. So Phil came back with Wall Street and the government is scared of what happened, even though shaking up the system has made a lot of noise and educated people how it works. The crash of 2008 was because of Wall Street, but more so JP Chase, that they sold a bunch of inflated assets that they knew they could buy back. That's what they do.
They do that all the time, man.
But
and what do they use? The media.
Because the media, the people that run the media is their homeboys.
Yep.
They all go to Epstein's Island together.
They just scare people.
So like that's what they're doing now. They're using they're using the media. I'm seeing all these news articles saying like, don't buy GameStop stock because these are the enemies, white supremacists. They just want to cause trouble. Right. The hedge fund guys are the heroes, just like The Big Short. You know what I mean? Like they're like, what? What are you talking about?
AOC said that, right?
Yeah, AOC said trying to tell people. What?
Y'all see the latest thing?
Oh, we gonna get to that.
My goodness.
We gonna get AOC Smollett.
AOC
Smollett. That was the picture you saw me put up. AOC Smollett. Yeah.
What did this just remind me of? What they're pushing, the left is pushing this reality guru or something like that.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Yeah,
reality guru.
They want
you heard about that?
Office.
Yeah.
And they want the government to regulate what reality is.
Yes. They want to have a system in place that's like basically like what was the system in 1984?
Was it the Truth Commission or the
Truth Commission? I think that's what it is. Truth Commission.
There was a system in place in 1984
in the book
that let people know what reality was.
Right.
But they want to implement that now in real life.
Somebody put that out.
Yeah, because of this GameStop thing.
It'll never work.
Like they want to, and they're trying to trick people into thinking that we need it because this is dangerous.
Right, because if it does happen, they can catch the people and they can make the reality what they want it to be.
Right.
This never happened.
Yeah, no, that never happened, guys. Yeah. That's fake news.
Yeah. But you see, there's a couple, Jon Stewart, Joe Rogan, there's Elon Musk. Yeah. They're all in favor of this.
Yeah.
You know.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Came out in favor of it. Like a bunch of. I'm talking about a bunch of billionaire people came out in favor of what the Wall Street bets people are doing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Saying like this is what we need. Mark Cuban was like, hold your stocks, don't sell them. Yeah. You know what I mean? He actually surprised me with that.
Yeah. That's how it's supposed to work. Be free.
Exactly.
We didn't do anything wrong. It's not illegal.
It's not illegal. Yeah.
Philip said the digital world people have given way to instead of focusing on core values and balance. People miss what God is doing because they rush to be included to know without actually taking their time to understand. Yeah. That's facts. Yeah. Facts right there. Like everyone just wants to be a part of everything. Yeah.
Or be right or
be right.
Who's first?
He said reality guru sounds like the CIA.
Very, very true.
Phil Warner.
Yeah.
Well, he's been through a lot. The Navy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's been out and
oh, he's a Navy brother like John.
Yeah, neighborhood guy. Oh, yeah. Remember tackle football on Church Street?
Yeah. I remember other stories about Phil with y'all.
What?
I'm not going to say it on here.
You're going to have to tell me later because I don't know.
I'm just going to say it involves a girl.
That was Moon's side.
Yeah. But so... in the news today was all over trending on Twitter was AOC lied and Alexandria Ocasio Smollett because
I saw that, but I didn't know what happened exactly.
See, I'm not in any. I don't have Twitter. I'm just detached.
Yeah, that's good. That's a beautiful thing. Don't ever get it.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want
you
it.
You don't want it. Like I only go on there to look up news stories to like talk about or stuff like that.
I'm teaching. I'm sorry. I just gonna make.
No, go ahead.
I was teaching Dylan this today because Dylan comes in every morning. He's angry. You see this? You see this? Every morning. You see this? You see this? I'm like, no, dude, and he's just like going off. I'm like, why are you so angry, bro? Yeah. You see? And I'm like, bro, this stuff is.
That's the problem. Like, just stop looking at it.
That can't be my energy.
That's why I stopped watching the news. Yeah. Okay, pull this picture up, John.
Hoax.
The internet wins again.
They always win, man.
She is like.
So what happened was she went on. She's because she's been on this rant since the Capitol raid or whatever the Capitol
Insurrection.
the insurrection. Since that happened, she's been on her victim tour talking about how she feared for her life, talking about Ted Cruz almost
was
got her
trying to
killed,
get him,
all this stuff, trying to get Ted Cruz to resign because he got her almost got her
Josh
killed.
Hawley.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The story's gonna get worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is gonna get worse. So she did this whole live stream going on her Instagram, just talking about like laying out the whole scenario and what she had to do and how she had to hide in her bathroom because she feared for her life. And someone came in and was like, "Where is she?" And she thought she was gonna die in that moment. People are crying. She's crying. And it turns out that she wasn't even in the Capitol building at all.
Yeah. Her building is like what? A quarter of a mile away.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show
They
you.
were saying maybe.
Hold up, John. Let me find it first.
Yeah.
Because all of them connect somehow.
So-
The person that came in was a Capitol officer,
Right.
and he was,
Hold on.
he went there to try to help her, but she's claiming that it didn't seem right. He seemed,
All right, let's put this up.
well,
So here's the map of the whole. You can make it bigger. Yeah, bring up the whole thing.
So that's the complex, right?
So this is this is not the entire Capitol Hill complex, but you see where the Capitol building is. It says U.S. Capitol there. That's the arrow pointing into the front where people stormed in, right?
the owl eyes.
AOC's office is the Cannon House office building. The arrow all the way at the bottom right. That's where her office is.
Yeah, I drove by there. I know exactly.
But she was physically there.
She was in her office. She
in
wasn't
her
in the
office,
Capitol.
not
Right.
the Capitol.
Okay.
And then
All right.
the other thing is with her timeline, because she lays it all out. She talks about exactly when it happened. It happened at 1:01 p.m. I heard someone banging at my door, and then people have showed the actual timeline of like how this all went down. That was like an hour before anything happened. So like, what are you talking about? And everyone is coming out with all of this information, this just proving her whole story wrong. So it's been trending for the last 2 days that AOC is a liar and she Jussie Smolletted this whole situation, because she wants that victim points, But she's good at it, like you said.
Yeah, she's good.
Because she's still going, like she's got the whole media on her side. They're defending her. Oh, let me show y'all this Vox.com.
But they didn't even check to see if she wasn't there or not though.
Hold up, here's another meme right here. Just show y'all real quick. People been going in. That's the interview with Robin Roberts. They put her in the interview with Robin Roberts.
Wow.
All right, let me find this other. Okay, here's the Vox.com article. Just show y'all this real quick. Why it doesn't really matter that AOC's story is a gigantic distortion if it fights for justice.
See, this is what's dangerous. That right there, bro.
Dude, but this is what they're doing.
A giant. How about just a straight up lie? Like,
Yeah.
it's a straight
They
up
can't
lie.
say that.
Right,
They
right.
can't say
I
that.
know, but that's the problem.
Right.
That's what they're doing. They're stretching
Yeah.
things into like,
Yeah.
well, it's not exactly a lie.
They're
No, it's just a lie.
they're calling her a hero and everything.
Of
This
course.
is what we're fighting against. This is what we're standing up against. Is nonsense like this. Mm-hmm. That's absolute nonsense. And to pretend that
And they're still going to try to shove it down our throats.
right.
They tried to do they did a like emergency reading in Congress today or in the Senate or something where it was like everyone's going to retell their stories about what happened on the day of January 6th, and AOC is going to start it off like after all of this started happening.
Right. And then
Pull this up right here. This is Snopes right here. So you know how they do the fact checking. So Alexandria Ocasio says exaggerated the danger she was in during the January 6th, 2021 Capitol riot, and that she wasn't even in the Capitol building when the rioting occurred. Their rating mostly false. What's true? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wasn't in the main Capitol building where the House and Senate chambers are located. That's exactly what the claim is.
So that's mostly
But that's mostly
false.
false.
or just false.
So, but what's true is the whole statement you just said, but it's mostly false. What's false is when the attack.
So they're saying what's mostly false is what the statement was.
Yes,
Okay. But then they
Most-
just reiterated the
mostly
statement.
peaceful protests.
they're saying yes, exactly. So the statement is She wasn't even in the Capitol building. Like, they always give the statement and they say, is it true or false? And then they say what's true, what's false.
Okay, so they just reinstated.
So the statement is she wasn't in the Capitol building. They say, well, this statement is mostly false. What's true is she wasn't in the Capitol building. Like,
Wow.
but what's false is...
So it's all false.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
And we talking about realities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Reality police?
Truth
Yeah.
Commission.
Truth Commission. Here's the article I saw this morning on the Federalist.
Wow.
She
Hashtag
loves
Alexandria
attention,
Ocasio Smollett trends after it's revealed AOC wasn't even in the Capitol during the January riot. Like, they lay it out, and then everybody on Twitter has been laying it out. But she put out a letter today telling all of her fans that white supremacists are trying to send misinformation about her story. So we need to go through your whole Twitter feed and report everybody who claims that this is a lie. Go through the AOC lied hashtag and report all the, like, she's trying to weaponize her fan base. She got like 12 million followers on Twitter or something like that. She's trying to like weaponize them to target anyone who posts anything about her lying. You know, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's like the Facebook fact.
I mean, she's been caught before with the picture of her crying to
They just took
to nothing.
A page out
Yeah.
of Hillary's book when she was having missiles flying over her head, and
Yeah, right.
where
That's
she
right.
went in there,
Where
I
was that
forget.
at? Where she told that story?
I don't remember.
Yeah, there was
She
missiles
landed
flying over the
somewhere,
head, and we
yeah.
had to run into
We
the
had to
choppers.
run.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, they have a camera showing her walking,
yeah,
shaking hands,
yeah.
kissing babies.
But she's great at making it all about her. You know what I mean? And being the celebrity, and then they use that to further their agenda. You know what I mean? Like all of this white supremacist regulation. Like, they use these type of stories, people calling out what truly happened, calling you out for a liar. Then they turn that around on us and try to make that a cause for more censorship. You know what I mean?
Bigger government.
Yeah.
No thanks. But they're doing it.
Yeah. That was
More
just
government, the better.
that was a funny story. Another story I was going to show y'all today is me and James have been predicting this since last year. I saw this article from the Daily Mail. We can bring this up. Why are COVID cases plummeting? New infections have fallen 45% in the U.S. and 30% globally in the last 3 weeks. But bless you. But experts say vaccine is not the main driver because only 8% of Americans, 13% of people worldwide have received their first dose. So we're seeing more and more stories about, oh, it's just COVID's just going away, guys. Like, we don't know why.
It ran its course.
But then they still, so this is simultaneously happening with also the vaccine push simultaneously happen. It's like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Which way? We don't know which way is up anymore.
Now they're trying to study if you can mix vaccines.
Really?
Like if you get the shot from Moderna, can you get your second shot from
Pfizer.
All right,
Or-
you guys
and then
want to play with that all you want.
Johnson & Johnson is coming out. And the reason, initially they said no, but then it says if you don't know where the first shot came from, then you're okay to take the second shot.
Yeah.
Like,
Trust
you don't
us?
see how that stuff makes sense?
Yeah, trust us, please. Trust us. We're never wrong. Let me read some comments. Philip said, "Hey guys, calm down." I don't know what he's
That
referring
was
to.
referring to the reference of where he's been.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
Oh, you never remember. I remember everything.
This man is a philosopher. He's changed.
I
You leave him alone.
Todd Hallam said, then we find out that AOC wasn't even at the Capitol. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I just want to touch on the topic before. Mark Cuban said to hold on to the stocks, but that's the opposite of what they do. They get credible information on when the stock is going to bust. Then they buy it low and sell it high. Yep, that's exactly what they do. And that's the thing that they found out about Robinhood, the Robinhood app that everyone's been using. Robinhood takes all the information from us dummies and lowlives and peasants that are buying our little $500, $600 stocks and sells all that information to the hedge funds and lets them know what we're doing so that they can always beat us on everything.
It's what companies like Amazon do.
Does the same thing. By the way, you heard Bezos is stepping down?
Yeah, I did.
What's that all about? Something weird. I don't know.
Hey, he's gonna make a run for something.
Yeah.
They study the algorithm.
Yeah.
And they figure out the pattern, and then it's pretty much they get all the information for free.
Now that's the corrupt side of capitalism. That you would think all of these like progressive politicians that would be targeting instead of like
no, they could never
helping.
talk about that.
But that's why capitalism doesn't work without morals.
Right. Exactly.
You know, you have to have those morals, and it doesn't work without God. Like
Yeah.
Philip said they play it like a game. It's really just smart investing. Yep. He said, I don't know about all the political fodder about AOC, but I'm not sold on anything until I know all the facts. I know the capital of our country was attacked in over 200 years, and as someone who fought for this country, it's a huge embarrassment to our country, our democracy, that it even happened at all. I agree. And I think it's a huge embarrassment that they allowed it to happen. Like it was almost 100%. They wanted this to happen because the way you see the way that they've locked up the city now with all that fencing and all the
National Guard
piled up in there, 20,000 troops.
Come on, man.
They had 5 cops.
Yeah.
They had 5 cops. One dude with a stun gun.
And one dude taking selfies with him.
Right. And they thought that they was going to stop 100,000 people that was out there in D.C.
But walls are bad, man.
Yeah. Walls don't work.
They're not going to have any protests in D.C.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mom said, Isaiah 5:20 NIV, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put the bitter for sweet and the sweet for bitter. We've seen that a lot now. You know what I mean? I saw a video. I showed it to Liz the other day. I saw a video. It's been like viral on Twitter of some big ass dude in a wig just trucking these girls on the track and like you seen that clip? Like he is
as
just
a joke. Or
no,
real?
this is real, a real race.
No, I mean, is he satiring?
No.
He's for real.
He's a girl.
He's a
girl now.
Whooping up on girls.
He says he's a girl.
This is what I'm saying. Like
he identifies as a girl,
based
so
off
that
of the
means he's a
standards
girl.
that they've just set in place. Like
One of
he
his
can.
executive orders.
Yeah, right.
Because I know some guys have done it like as a joke to show.
Yeah, like the dude Zuby broke the world record without even
the
trying.
The weightlifter dude, right?
Yeah. But
Damn shit.
But yeah, like I mean, you talk about making good evil and evil good. Like,
right.
How is that okay?
And then you, as a believer, aligning yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Pick and choose and cherry picking. Well, no, I hate this person more than I do. So you're compromising your belief, because you want to vote your guy in or whoever you think is better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So according to Joe Biden now, a man can be in the ring with a woman.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they don't do that with the fighting.
Crack her skull.
They already
did. It is.
They already did it.
I know they did, but a lot of girls wouldn't fight her. The man, they wouldn't because of that danger. But if they force people to do that, man, you're gonna see somebody die.
Yeah.
I don't know what they want from that, but it is different.
They want equality on their terms.
Philip said, I've been here for 20 plus years watching you guys in the shadows, LOL.
Yeah.
You're going to find plenty of conflicting stories to support your opinion. Daily Mail is staunchy conservative. I have a friend in England that believes everything they post. He's kind of massive racist, but I serve with RAF and RAN. They think that website's not the best, and that's putting it nicely. Hey, I get it. You know what I mean? That every news outlet I think is biased. You know what I mean? But I can find right now a bunch of stories. I saved a bunch of the clips, but I got to send them to you guys. And I've sent them to you in the past of like different articles, different people saying like, "Oh, we got to open back up. It's getting better. We've peaked. The COVID cases have peaked." Scientists saying this. Like, this is not just the Daily Mail story. I just brought that up because it was just the one I saw today about the cases going down 45%. And they're not the only ones that reported on that. It's a bunch of websites that reported on that. So I get what you're saying, but Daily Mail is certified by NewsGuard. If you want to use that system,
If
I
you
know.
need that.
Yeah, Tim Pool talks about that all the time. But yeah, all the new. I mean, you mean to tell me New York Times isn't biased?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're all corporation owned.
Yeah.
Washington Post.
It has to.
Jeff Bezos.
And he said, yeah, they were definitely underprepared. He said, "Yes, Moon." I don't know what Yes Moon.
I don't know
is
what
about.
the yes
Yeah.
is. Two.
We know what it is. We know.
Let me see. I think there was some other stuff I wanted to show you. It might have been the same stuff I would already.
See, I did feel like I was missing out for a while.
Yeah.
But I feel like this year, last year that passed, I'm kind of glad that I never subscribed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've been telling him about his energy. I'm like, bro, your energy is terrible.
Yeah.
Like you just because he's stressed out. I'm like, your blood pressure is probably like about to pop. You know what I mean? It's like you're starting off your day,
Right.
You know. And he's like, you don't care about this?
Yeah.
I care about it, but there's
It's
nothing.
not
I,
that-
what,
What is he so passionate about?
Well, you know,
example.
Political issues or racial issues, like whatever is happening, you know, around us. And I'm like, I absolutely do care about it, but I'm gonna do mine through prayer. You know, I'm not.
Right.
I physically cannot do anything about it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know it's hard to hear that because those people want you to be whatever passionate level they're on, they're like, I'm on 10. Meet me here. You know, I'm like,
Oh, you mean like how you called me all excited about Patrick Mahomes?
that was a good game. I enjoyed that.
That's your new,
I
new
enjoyed
Cam
That's
Newton.
your new Cam. You
No,
found a better
no,
Cam Newton.
No, listen.
You found a better Cam Newton.
He called me a hater too.
He was a
Because I
hater.
was rooting for the Bills. Because you know that stands.
I was like, listen, Stan is salty. I even sent Stan a picture.
But I gotta tell you something. Like, you got to be careful with the Patrick Mahomes thing too, because it's kind
Don't
of like
listen to Moan.
No.
I just said he was a good player.
No, it's kind of like the LeBron James thing. Everybody, you know how like everybody jumps on one guy.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is that guy
Yeah.
now.
Well, listen, I appreciate.
He's nasty though.
Yeah.
He is that
I
guy.
appreciate
player,
what his ability.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I appreciate his ability. I like. I don't know anything about football, but if I see someone who's delivering, I'm like,
yeah.
I'll be on your team.
He's definitely an exceptional
Now,
football player.
listen. Here's the thing. All credit to Tom Brady, though.
Yeah.
Dude.
How old is he?
I-
44?
44, yeah.
44. That's a bad dude.
How,
Yeah.
how can you deny him?
John.
John.
You can't deny him, man.
No.
John was in here fighting us on
Good
it.
time.
He picked a team. He picked a good team. No, listen. They were talking. I watched I happened to this by chance, just be sitting there, and I watched the pre, and they said that culture changed when he walked in.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Coaches changed, staff changed when he walked in.
Oh, you know they did.
I was like, wow.
their great hope was James
And then
Winston,
and then
wasn't
you
it?
know showing
Yeah.
they showed his combine
Yeah.
and they showed how terrible it was.
Yeah.
And he does look terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
visually he doesn't look good.
Right. No one expected him to be good.
But that showed
He
this
had
guy's
no.
dedication.
He had no
man.
muscles. He ran like a 5'4", 40,
6-inch vertical.
6.
But you could. What I'm saying is, you could learn something from a guy who has been denied.
Yeah.
He earned it.
Yeah.
He earned it, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Like he's like
He's the
the
ultimate
ultimate underdog
He
story.
earned it.
His whole career, like
But-
from high school to even college, they benched him for this
Michigan.
flat
Michigan,
Michigan,
yeah.
this flashy guy. But every time he came in, he won.
Yeah,
You know,
he was definitely an underdog.
they just hate him because you know he ended up getting a hot wife and he wins all these games and
I
Super
think
Bowls.
when you're constantly in the Super Bowl, people are gonna hate you.
Yeah.
They're tired of seeing you there.
Yeah.
I felt like that for a while.
Yeah.
Like, oh, not
People wanna
Tom
see
Brady
him
again.
fall. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his greatest one of the greatest Super Bowls I saw him in was the Falcons one. That was amazing.
that
Oh,
was,
man.
We left. We
What
were
was
like,
it?
all right.
27
27
points down?
Three
Yeah,
to-
actually, I won
28 to 3.
a football pool because it went into overtime. The tie with the zeros at the end. Like, I somehow won the pool on the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
That's
on that
sick.
bit.
I appreciate his hard work. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I give the dude credit.
You have to give him that.
Yeah.
If nothing,
And he's
else.
good. He's
Yeah.
one of the, he's going down as the best.
Jake's like,
Oh my Lord. No, I just enjoy that. I was like, oh, it's a good game. I normally don't get into football.
So-
but I was like,
so you're picking the Chiefs?
I'm
The
going
chefs-
Andy.
the chefs.
I'm going Andy on this one.
So it's so annoying that Andy is still like doing great in the
Dude,
Eagles.
he just extended his
Hey, why?
he extended his coaching career for another
They made
decade.
a bad.
I
They should
know.
listen. They should fire that general manager of the Eagles.
Yes.
And get rid of him.
Yes.
He makes some bad choices.
Listen,
He
Andy
should have been gone.
Yeah,
Reed had the
He must
Eagles
got
in
some
the
dirt.
playoffs every year.
exactly. And then had the Chiefs in no time
In
in
no
the
time.
playoffs.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
Yeah. And one thing I liked about him that when I worked on the former football player home,
Yeah.
he told me, he said, in terms of integrity, he was one of the first coaches and men that he met in all his life from Pee Wee on that said, I'm an honor systems guy. You do right by me, I will do right by you.
All right.
So when you transition out of football,
Yeah.
if you deliver, there's a job here for you.
Yeah.
There'll be a place. You don't have to just end and go away. If,
Right.
if you want to come back, I would like to see you go from a football player to grooming and training young men, not just with the football, but in life.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how do we take boys and because he understood? I don't know. Was he a football player himself?
Andy Reid?
Andy,
Yeah.
I don't think
I
so.
think
No.
He probably played, but he didn't.
Right. But
he
not a
didn't play.
not a professional.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he's saying he's like, you gotta understand he was. I don't know anything about this world. I grew up in the Caribbean, but he was just saying, you're looked upon as and he's like, it progressively it gets harder and harder because you are supposed to just do what you're told. They don't really train you they don't really look at your manhood, like, your life, how this is affecting you or whatever it is. It's just get it done, win games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, Andy Reid was one of the first people to tell him, listen, I care about your transition.
Yeah.
Even though you're sitting here as a rookie, I
Yeah.
care about your transition as much as I do.
They used to criticize him for that. They called him
Yeah, he had a father-son relationship.
a player's coach.
Well, I
He
think
was
that's something he might have learned though.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
the Eagles. Like maybe because I think he did have a good heart, but I mean, I'm not gonna put that on him totally. But when you look at his sons and the drug problems,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it could have been that he was a little too lenient,
Mm-hmm.
and he learned that and made some corrections,
Made some
you know?
adjustments.
Yeah.
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 And that's why I think, like I said, like, hearing that, I was like, wow. Like,
That's how, our ex coach Doug Peterson got his shot.
Yeah. From Andy Reid.
From Andy, yeah. He was the
preparing you for.
Philip said, "I love y'all, even you, Jake. I'm sorry I was late, man." I don't know what he means. But he was late.
Oh, because he used to always be late at. He used to work with when I worked for Derek.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he used
Phil
to work there,
he's-
and he used
he
to
was
always be
late.
Yeah. And I used to always get on like, "Come on, man, I'm trying to leave." Like,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Wow,
in the mall. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yo,
Echelon?
What?
Defert.
Definitely. Okay.
What?
I do want to mention something.
What?
There is a player that was on the Chiefs, won the Super Bowl last year, and is now on the opposing team. LaShawn McCoy.
Oh,
He's on the Buccaneers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was on the Chiefs.
I didn't know he was on the Bucks.
Yeah.
wow. So he's about to get a ring.
Yeah. From the other team.
2.
Assuming that Tampa wins.
Yeah.
Tom Brady ain't losing no Super
Tom
Bowl.
Brady got the magic though.
I kind of want to see Tom Brady do it without Bill, man. Shut people up.
I mean,
I'm going with the old man.
I don't care because I haven't watched any football. But whoever wins, I'll be happy for Patrick Mahomes, and I'll be happy for Tom Brady.
Yeah,
if he does it.
Kid is good, man. That kid is good.
And on that note,
On that note, what? Was you ready to wrap
I'm
it
just
up?
trying to change it. Talk about football too long.
What do you want to talk about?
Soccer.
You want to talk about soccer?
Talk about soccer. Dude.
I'm looking on Twitter right now, seeing what people are posting. Oh, there was something I wanted to bring up to y'all. Oh, the Lincoln Project.
Okay.
Did y'all hear about that scandal?
I heard about something, but then I can't remember. But I did hear about something.
So the dude
had to do with
the dude that was the head of the Lincoln Project.
That's right.
He was one of the
people.
biggest like never Trumpers. Trump is evil. Trump is a degenerate, and they found out that he was soliciting young boys for sex.
Oh yeah, wasn't it like 24?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were of age.
Young
no,
men.
not all of them.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Do you have facts to prove this?
It was in the article I saw.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, was that what's his name?
Would
Her
you say
husband,
allegedly?
Trump's ex-campaign manager. I know her husband was a part of the Lincoln Project, and she left.
I don't know. I don't remember if that's, but it was just, I just saw it on Twitter because everybody was going in on this dude. Like it was trending, because he was always talking about this moral high ground. You know what I mean, and how we have
That's
to.
the signal right there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's funny how people, when they do that so much, they don't uphold their own.
Yeah.
Right.
John Kerry went and accepted the environmental award.
Yeah.
He flew his private jet.
Yeah, flew his private jet. It's just
Rules for thee.
It's you can't make this stuff up, man. It's like it's just too.
He flew Bow Wow's private jet.
That the public would eat it up.
Yeah, they think that's how dumb they think the public
But they
is.
are though.
I think in a sense you're right, but I think it's more that
People are waking up.
People haven't been made aware of how much they're willing to lie. I think for so many years it was too easy for them to get the lie off. Sure. So now it's taking a while for people to get deprogrammed from. No, they just tell us the truth all the time. Right. You know what I mean?
But dude, there's people who don't care.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're lying. There's people who are like, well, he lied because of this, and this.
Yeah, that's what they're doing with AOC right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. She lied because it's about justice.
Yeah.
It's about... Doesn't matter. She
People are like, yeah, that is true. Sometimes you gotta lie in life. I do it all the time.
Smollett should one up her. It's winter time.
Yeah. Smollett's gonna come with it.
What's up with Smoulier?
I don't know.
Juicy Smoulier.
Juicy's been laying low, brother.
The big bad guy's not there anymore, though, so they can't say it was a MAGA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now they're just blaming ism.
Yeah, now they got that one chick that's their target. They've been talking about
Oh
her.
yeah,
all
the
day.
new
Green, right?
Yeah. They nonstop
Don't they
coverage
gotta-
on her.
Oh, they censored her.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they voted today.
Nonstop coverage on her, and
Removed her from the committees.
the committees. Okay,
The
and
committees.
Republicans aren't going. They're not going to stand up for her. They have
Isn't
no
AOC
backbone.
on some committees?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Omar,
she says crazy. They say
yeah.
crazy stuff all the time.
That's
They
the one.
literally,
She's definitely on.
They literally
That's why-
introduced a bill about anti-Semitism
Dude.
because of her.
That's why
Because of
Tim
the stuff
Pool
she-
say Republicans are spineless.
Yeah.
He says it all the time.
Because they are like they're
trying to prove that they're not racist. They've been accused of it so much.
Yeah.
of being sexist.
But they stand for nothing. They do nothing. They literally just give up ground all the time. Give up ground.
That's because they making money.
Yeah. That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Like, they're not giving up ground, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're really not. But it just looks like that because they're not fighting for y'all.
Right.
You know?
They just want to keep their jobs and make sure they make their money. Mitch McConnell. Oh, did y'all hear about the stimulus? I titled this podcast "Stimuless."
Stimuless. LES. Good play on words, sir.
because because they keep backpedaling on that $2,000 they was guaranteeing everybody.
John's like, dang it.
It's not hurting me.
And with the
It's hurting somebody else.
No, he's gonna get the $1,400 because now they made it a tax bracket thing. Like if your household is making less than $100,000, it's $100.
Yeah.
So
100 for married couples.
for
and
couples, yeah. So you'll still get
50,000
the $1,400, but it's still not the $2,000 he was guaranteeing everybody, especially trying to get everyone to vote for the two people in Georgia. Like he was out there campaigning. If you vote for these people and you're getting $2,000, like literally buying votes. Like, crazy.
Crazy.
about that.
It's $2,000.
Yeah, but
That's not life changing.
people exactly.
No.
Exactly, but people
Well,
are
that's to tell you
desperate,
people's
man.
interest too. It's not just that. It's not just the desperate. It's people are just they can bend with the slightest amounts of favors.
True.
You know,
People want to see that money in
They
their
will see money
bank
in
account.
It don't matter.
Because they're going to use that money like we saw the last stimulus when they was all flying to Florida.
Oh my goodness, yo.
On what's it?
on Spirit,
On Spirit.
and Frontier.
I don't think people understand what's at stake. What's at stake, financially, morally, and spiritually for the country.
Yeah.
I don't think they really understand that. You know, because if these type of people, the AOCs, do become the career politicians that they're hoping to be, what is it going to be like 20, 30 years from now?
Yeah.
If these people are making these kind of decisions
Yep.
and displaying it, and not only are they making bad decisions and getting caught, but they're pretty much being championed and being promoted, what is it going to be like 20 years from now?
Right.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
How do you pay for all this?
What's going to happen to the dollar?
It's
We don't
gonna
even know
crash, like-
what's going to happen to the dollar.
Let's take a
You
trip to
keep
Venezuela.
printing money. And
That's a good sign right there.
Yeah, where money is being burned.
It's free.
But that's
garbage.
again, they're pushing everyone into crypto. This whole even with the GameStop thing, they started like making up these fake. Oh, everyone's buying Dogecoin. Everyone's buying. You know what I mean?
Get-
Dogecoin's not
Let's
even
get in
like
on this.
it's not even a real cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
It's just a joke.
It's a joke
Yeah.
currency.
and people buy it.
But,
Yeah.
they
but
went on and blew it
again,
up.
what can you do about it? You know,
Yeah.
So there's prayer, but then there's also application. Like you got let's get into these arenas. You know, I think that's one of the biggest issues with the church. Like they don't want to be like the fact that I heard like, oh, that's secular.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like the fact that you can even say that is
Yeah.
like, come on, man. It's all one thing. It's the world. Like secular humanism, like
Yeah.
all this stuff. That's designed to keep you out.
Right.
And that's probably why a lot of church folks, because that kind of language is what I've heard all my life in
Yeah.
church. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
that's
you-
the world.
You feel
that's
no
the
need to-
world.
The world.
That's the world.
Don't
Well,
we
then
live in the
that's
world?
why the world
Ain't
is.
the world controlling everything we do right now?
Yeah,
You have to
'cause-
live in it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, then they complain about,
Right.
like, that's the world. Look at what the world's doing.
Yeah.
No, it's our fault.
Let me bust through some comments real quick. Philip Warner said KC by 7. We'll see what happens there.
Tampa by 7.
My mom said boring. Well, I
She's
guess
definitely
we
talking
were
about
football. Philip said he's married to Trump's cabinet transportation secretary. Thank you for that. And then he said she's Asian. What does that have to do? Thanks.
That's a little big
Speaking
of
of
bone right there.
What was he on? House Intel Committee. Eric Swalwell. He said
Oh
he was sleeping
yes,
with that
yes, he was
Chinese
sleeping
spy.
with the Chinese spy.
But he's still on committee.
Yes, didn't get lifted
talking
from his
about-
committee.
Yeah.
Was sleeping with her for a long time, multiple times. Like he was compromised completely. Ethan Young. Everybody thinks I'm dumb. They think I'm always tripping. What is?
I don't know.
I don't know what that means. Expound on that. Philip said, "Man, both sides lie. Probably better off investing in yourself and being prepared for whatever, fellas. Nah, the best thing is to invest in your relationship with God. That will prepare you for whatever. That will be you will be 100% prepared for whatever."
Jesus.
Jesus. Philip said, "No, it's not under 100,000. It's the same tax brackets." What does that mean? What do you mean the same? Oh, he said 40 to 75,000. You sure? I saw something today. They said it was
under
100.
100.
Anyone under 100,000. Ethan said, "What the?" Ethan said, "I ain't crazy, man." What are you referring to?
All right.
Okay, that's
My number.
that's the
Okay,
last-
so now he corrected himself. My numbers were wrong. So it's from 142 to 56,000, 56 to 86, 86 to 154, 142,000 to 542,000. What are you talking about? No, the conspiracy
I'm
theory
confused.
is about her husband. Yeah, her husband was the one who was soliciting boys for sex.
That just sounds like a
boys, young men to boys,
Young men to boys, boys to men.
boys.
But remember we were talking about the other
AOC,
day
yeah.
when we said about the shirt
What?
that says God's in control.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
I was
That was
watching somebody on. I think it was the video you posted, and they did a whole thing about people saying God's in control, and how like that's a falsehood.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it totally takes out your responsibility.
all-
and
Right.
yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God's in control.
Yeah.
But it's like if that's the case, if God's in control, how are all these babies aborted every year? If God's in control, like.
Right.
Like, do you think that he wants that to happen? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
it doesn't make
And
any
why
sense.
does he tell us study to show yourself approved? Not just so we can go spouting biblical verse, but we can actually put this thing into practice.
Right,
know what I
right.
mean?
Because he gives us free will to come in to
Yeah.
work with him for his will.
That
Right.
verse is actually interesting because people always just say that, but when you look at that in context, like what Paul is saying to Timothy,
Yeah,
he's saying like, don't be because he starts it out like talking about like not to be ashamed of me being in chains, right? And he's saying like basically to know and stay in faith throughout your shame or whatever, because Paul's in chains,
yeah,
right? So people are kind of shaming him or feel shame because he's in chains,
Yeah.
because it's like, how is that proving the gospel? You get what I'm saying? So what happens is when we feel that shame, now we're trying to reason it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the place where people get a lot of times. That's what's happening a lot in this country. Oh, that's my point. Like, oh, God's in control.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Now God's in. Wait, it didn't go our way, but God's in control. He's still on the throne. You know what I mean? I've been hearing that a lot lately.
yeah.
You know,
yeah,
he's still on the throne, but really the faith is about no matter what you see, don't waver, continue. It's actually for your good, but also others' good, because that's what Paul was saying. He was like, I'm in chains, but it's for your good that I'm in chains. It's
Right.
for your glory, right? And it's crazy because I said this to our friend the other day. Jordan.
Jordan,
I said this
yeah.
to Jordan the other day.
Our friend,
Dude, I couldn't. I
our
don't know why.
guitar
his
player,
name-
our friend.
I don't know why I couldn't think of his name.
Jordan.
But I'm like, yo, if
You know he's gonna watch this and laugh.
And you,
Hey,
other
get
guy,
him, get him later, Jordan.
Yeah,
Listen.
get him, Jordan.
if Paul wasn't in chains, we wouldn't have almost every book, every letter he wrote in the Bible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he had to go through that to be able to write because he couldn't go to them. So because he couldn't go to them, he wrote to them. You know what I mean? So the whole point of it is that it was for not only their good that he was writing to, but our good because we're reading it. You know what I mean? So we don't even grasp it. And when we try to reason things out, we actually do a detriment to the gospel. And that's what he was explaining to Timothy. Like, show yourself approved through testing, because if you don't, you're going to fall victim to reasoning. You know, and then he goes deeper into it. Like this guy, I forget the names of them, these two that don't even believe in the resurrection.
Right.
You know what I mean? You start to twist things to settle it in your mind.
Right.
And that's what's been happening in the church. And that's why people say stuff like, oh, yeah, you know, God's in control. Like,
Yeah.
you don't got to worry about it. It's like, but we can only say that. Like, I was thinking about that today. God is in control can be said by white Christians more than white American Christians more than anywhere else in the world. Because Christians in other parts of the world ain't saying that.
Yeah.
They're going through some persecution, going through some issues, going through some problems.
China,
China, Singapore,
China,
you're going through
Ethiopia,
things.
Somalia, yeah.
You know what I
Doesn't
mean?
seem
You
that-
can't say, "Oh, God's in control."
Right.
But what I was, no, you're right. But what I was saying is, I think that's one of the things that I'm learning is that everything that's happening right now, maybe it's heightened because of technology and the current time we're living in.
Yeah.
But it's nothing new. There has been political insurrections. There have been wars and rumors of war. There have been pestilence. That's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not studying that. We just think that that's antiquated. I mean, it's happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
They couldn't have possibly been going through what we're going through, right?
Right.
But a lot of times, it is it's a form of it.
Yeah.
It's maybe because we're living in this time that everything becomes internal. It's more about me, you know. But this stuff has happened before, you know.
Hello, America America became America because of an insurrection against England.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
People forget that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. But I mean, when you look at that, like, even that, like the way they did that, that was like a Christian thing. Like, I don't know if y'all know about the flag they had before they even had the American flag.
no.
It
What do
was
you mean?
the Appeal to Heaven flag. It was just a white flag with a pine tree on it, evergreen tree on it.
I didn't know that.
And it was Appeal to Heaven flag because they knew they couldn't defeat England on their own.
Right.
And their ideas of what they wanted this country to be they knew it could only come from God. So that, like, through the war, that was their flag that they rallied around.
I'm listening to this thing right now. It's a guy who wrote a book about the secret orders of the world, and they were actually saying the founding fathers were actually saying, do not ever let America be owned by private bankers. Even back then,
Yeah.
they were saying, like, this is what's gonna happen once they entered. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and it
This is-
happened less than 100 years later.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, man. They're like, do not let this happen at all costs.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Jordan said we skimmed by it, but we talk about the 1871 when America became a corporation
Yeah.
and was sold off.
I don't think we understand those things, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even as adults, like, I mean, high school, you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
But even as an adult, like, to really understand what happened. Like, this is not, because we're looking at it from today's eyes, like, 2021 was horrible. But we don't understand that all of these things has been planned a long time ago.
Right.
And it's just coming to fruition. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know?
It's a slow game.
It's old. It's an ancient thing. Well, the being who's behind all of this, he's way beyond any human anyway.
Yeah, but God laughs at their plans.
Yeah.
We just gotta line up with his. That's the thing. Like, there's one side that's like, yo, they doing this, they doing that, they doing that.
Yeah.
But it's like, but we got a
Yeah.
more intelligent guy who's
That's
in
right.
heaven.
That's right.
But we
If-
gotta line up with him.
Right. If we look at it from human eyes, it does seem hopeless.
Yeah.
And it seems like, man, you know what? I'm going to go riot at the White House. That's my conclusion. You know, or like you said, like having that faith and that belief. That's one of the things I was like, man, this year, politics and certain things, I'm just not going to, I have to pray about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even all of that, it's just talking. It's just a bunch of talking.
I got
You know?
like we have like when it says what the gospel is, what does it mean? The good news.
Yeah.
How is it good?
Yeah.
You know, how is God good?
Right.
And if we can't even explain that, then we need to search
Right,
more.
right.
We need to seek more. If we don't have that ability to grasp that and speak it to people, then we got to go and we need to find it. Like, I need help, God. You know what I mean? The gospel's so watered down. Like, you hear that, preach the gospel to the world, and then God's going to come back. So that's all we got to do.
Yeah.
But, like, what does that mean? What does that mean? It's to show the goodness of God.
Right.
We have to show that goodness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I stopped. That's one of the things I was like, man, like I started feeling bombarded, man. I'm looking for racism. I'm looking for. I'm like, gee, like what am I doing? You know what I mean? You know?
Racist.
No, because it's like when something becomes, and it's not even that sexism, whatever it is. It could be anything that they tell you. You need to look out for this, and I'm like, but why am I? I'm not. I don't have those experiences. You know, sometimes
That's like the. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, like, I'm like, but why am I on this hunt? And it's because I'm tuning into certain things. I'm listening to certain things, and I'm like, okay, enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Me and Jamie have been talking about this a lot. Like, you can't, when you're always focusing on the wrong, the bad, not to say that you don't see it, but even in yourself, like, oh yeah, I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like if you're always focusing on what you gotta stop doing, you'll never stop.
Yeah.
Because you're always gonna fail, and you're like, oh, I messed up. Let me try it again. You know,
Right.
that's the issue with like alcoholism. Like a lot of these trying to stop doing drugs. Like you can't stop,
Yeah.
but you gotta start trusting in the one that stops it.
Yeah.
You know, like how do you stop doing
on
porn?
On your own, no.
On your own, you
No,
can't.
no.
But when you start seeking the one who is good, you know, you start to see that good more in your life.
Well, what I did was I replaced it with, Bible verses or things that I want to hear. If I need clarity on something, I'll type in that, and it'll come up. Like there's so much stuff on, I wanted to learn more about Genesis. I was like, I want to learn more about that, and I started looking into Genesis apologetics, and they do it's like science, Christian creation science. Have you guys ever heard of Ken Ham? Like he's a Christian scientist.
Yeah.
But it's something similar to that. But they go into they go in a little deeper, and and I was like, I wanted to learn more about it. And I replaced a lot of in the morning when I'm driving, I'll listen to this, put something in.
Yeah.
Right.
Something that is giving you food other than.
Yeah, because I had questions. I was like, man,
Right.
I want to learn about this a little bit.
There was something that was kind of interesting. I was thinking about there's a story with the Israelites when they just got out of Egypt, right, and they're in the wilderness, and the Amalekites come and they try to get them, but they do it sneaky, like they try to get the weaker ones, right, and then they attack them, but at first they're just trying to pick them off, right.
Yeah.
Through the weaker ones. And the Amalekites, they're from the line of the Edomites or Jacob's brother Esau. So Amalek was the grandson, right? And that name, and I know they do this a lot in the Hebrew, like they change the names a little bit. So Amalek probably means like strong king, right? And if you change if you change that last the kek, if you change that from a kaf in Hebrew to quaf, which is a q, but it still makes the same sound. Now it changes the word, the meaning of the word. So strong king now becomes people of the lap, or the lick, like a dog laps. So it's like people of the dog, those who lap up the water, right? So it changes, it just shifts it a little bit.
Which, if you know the story of Gideon, those were the soldiers that had to go home.
Right. The ones who lapped up the water. So these people, they were coming against them. And it's crazy because it says in the Bible that Israel was a blessing for the nations. Not just that they were going into the promised land to be blessed, but also to be a blessing to the nations, right? So you have these people that are coming against that, don't even realize because they're you just go down.
No, you're good. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
How did they defeat them? Moses had to hold up his arm, right?
Right.
But he had to hold up his arms, and he couldn't hold them up long.
Right.
So
they had to come help him hold him up.
So Aaron and then this other guy, Hor, something, he had to go and hold up the other arm, but there was three. And it just was making me think, you can't do it alone. When you start feeling weak, you need people to help you. And every time he stayed strong, they won. They were winning, right? And what he held up was the staff. And the staff was the sign or the banner. And that's where it comes like Jehovah Nisi, which means Yahweh Nisi, or Yahweh, the Lord of the banner, or Yahweh is my banner, right? And when you go back and you look at when Moses first came in, he's like, how am I going to show the people? What's the sign I'm going to show the people that you came to me and showed me? He says, what's in your hand? The staff. So every time now, everything he did was through that staff.
Right.
He parted the sea. He went to the Pharaoh. He threw it down. It became a serpent. Like that was the sign. and it's like that was the connector to God. You know, that a point of contact.
Right.
The staff in his hand. It's not like the staff had any power.
Right.
But it's that point of contact, and that was their symbol. You know. And you even look at like when people in battle, how they win the battle is that flag is always and the flag is always near the commander.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to, like, the point I'm trying to say is like, it's always about, we're in a war.
Right.
Like, this is warfare.
Right.
We don't war against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, might, and dominion. And a lot of times we don't look at it like that, but it's always warfare. So we always have to look towards our banner or our commander. And when we're like in a place of weakness, we need some commands.
Right.
We got to change up our strategy. And that's why, but it wasn't just Moses by himself. He needed 2 other guys to help him lift up his hands. And so that's 3, right? And it's connected to, what did Jesus say to the 3 when he was going and praying? He was at his worst time. He was at his weakest. He says, stay awake and pray. Keep watch and pray. Right? To uphold me as your banner.
Right.
But they didn't do it. They fell asleep.
Right.
So then they fell and scattered. You know what I mean? They fell into transgression or sin and scattered. They couldn't uphold what Jesus was trying to get them to uphold.
Right.
So, and that's the key to it. Like, we have to, I'm saying like this whole thing because I think us as brothers and sisters in this, we got to be more willing to talk to each other when we're weak, when we feel like, yo, I don't know what's going on. You know, pray with me, pray for me. Let's strengthen each other.
Right.
That mode. And I think like a lot of the church is like, oh, you shouldn't be feeling that way.
Right.
Like one side who's like the very spiritual is like, oh, that's a demon and and you need to do this.
Right.
You know, and the other side is like, well, that doesn't happen to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or you're not, maybe you're in sin or something. You know what I mean? It's all these things when
You
really
should
it's
feel
like
insecure about it. Like,
Right,
because
right.
no one else is saying it. They dealing with anything.
That
so if I
reminds
do-
me of the story
Right.
your mom tells all the time about
the pastor.
not
John-
mentioning any church names.
John-
about how
John
you know
John's favorite pastor.
she was having dreams, and then the pastor's like, "Well, I'm not having dreams.
I don't have
Yeah.
those experiences.
That
Why
might-
would that happen to you?
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
pastor.
Yeah.
Why is it happening? to
Yeah.
me?
Right, but I think right now, like, because you know, you talking about like seeking more, and but I think another level to that is we got to be more trusting in God and each other too,
Yeah.
because that's going to strengthen us more.
Right.
You know, we can uphold that banner on our own, but we're going to get weak.
Right.
We're going to get attacked in certain areas, but we got to learn how to trust each other. You know, through it all, like
Being vulnerable.
when being vulnerable,
Yeah.
you know, and not trying to uphold something that we can't do on our own. We can't do it on our own. You know, we have to be able to do it together, or else we're gonna fall asleep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or we're not gonna be able to hold that thing
Right.
up because it was never our burden to carry on our own, and that's the key right now with the church. You know, what keeps us a house divided can't stand.
Right.
You know, and look at the country too. It's divided. You know, how are we gonna, like, you think all these people who think, oh, God's just gonna come in and just do everything? No, we have to be united, and it starts with the church. If the church isn't an example of unity, then how are we gonna be an example to the world? And we've been so conditioned to like try to do it ourselves, you know, or try to figure it out ourselves, you know, and have it. Okay, now I got it. Now I can go and do it, you know, when it really is like, yo, we just got to keep lifting each other up, you know, and then it starts to come forth. But why don't people talk? Because they're afraid to. Why don't people say? Because they're afraid to share because of the judgments and because you feel like I have to have it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we don't have to have it together.
Real quick, I didn't notice, but we had a comment on YouTube. Amber said, I get chills every time I hear this version of Go Slow. Thank you very much. Talking about the video at the beginning. And then she said, love you guys, but Freddie has been gone so long, you would have thought he trained with Moon again. Yeah, the Freddie podcast is coming back soon. He was supposed to start tonight. I guess she probably tuned in like, oh, is Freddie there? He was supposed to start tonight, but I think we're going to start next week. I talked to him yesterday. He's doing fine, okay? And then Phil had a bunch of comments. I'm going to start reading. He said, you can't lead as a shepherd and be a servant king unless you show humility and humbleness. If you're going to lead, my friend, and be in the image and a servant king, then your purpose is to serve and be humble. The church is man. We are men. God is the Alpha and Omega. God is all. We try to put things in our own perspective. God's knowledge is beyond we're trying to understand, but believing you can truly understand God's perspective is a fallacy. We are molds shaped in God's image, but we aren't perfect. Nothing is more important than God's love for us and our fellow men. Interpretation is on the individual, not the group. When there is two or more who speak in my name, you can't stop with the Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit, but many don't understand it's the direction God has given them. I meant to say you can't stop. Okay. I was about to say. The Old Testament, the Old Arabic, the oldest language in the world before Latin, the shepherds of Israel, the one true God. We war against spirit. And you are absolutely right. We don't need specifics. God doesn't speak like that. We just need him. Oh, you wrote a lot, Phil. There's a whole bunch of more comments. But that's all good stuff, bro.
Yeah, it's all good,
you,
bro.
Man. Appreciate you. That's all good stuff.
Old Arabic?
I think he means the Old Hebrew. I mean, Arabic is probably close, you know.
No, it is close.
Yeah.
It's very Arabic, Aramaic,
yeah,
Hebrew. Pretty close. Semitic.
Cool. All right, guys. It's been a little bit over 2 hours. I think we can wrap it up there. That was a good one. It's good being here with everybody.
That's right.
Appreciate everybody who's been watching. Phil, man, we've seen you check in a bunch of times. This is the first time you've been so vocal in the comments, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Listen, come back anytime. Also, don't be afraid to, throw some stars at us, support a little bit. Anybody who's watching, mom, anybody who wants to support
Mom.
the Young Lions, support what we're doing. All of that is just going to go back into us doing more content for you guys,
Nico.
Nico, who's Nico?
120.
Oh, what's up, Nico?
He was on the Young Lion. I just went on there.
Oh, did he comment on there?
He just said peace. Peace, good brothers.
What's up, good brother?
I had to put that in my mind, like in the right way. Peace, good brother. Because, I saw it like peace, good brothers.
Yeah, but like I was saying, anybody who wants to support, you can go to jatan.com. You can get music and merch on there. You can also go to our Patreon. You can become a member, become a Young Lion, and you can support Young Lion, patreon.com/Young Lion TV. Also, Cash App, $ Young Lion TV. And any way you want to support will be dope. But in the meantime, if you just want to share, he said, thanks, Jamie. I got y'all. Tell Moon his forehead's shiny.
It's all that lotion.
Yeah. But no, we appreciate y'all, man. And listen, if you guys, the brother is massively busy right now, but go check out Mr. Build Right's Facebook page. If you need any, any type of work done in your home, you got any money for some, during this time, you get your stimulus.
Can I get a discount?
Get your stimulus. You want to do any upgrades to your kitchens, your bedrooms, your bathrooms? This brother got you. I'm talking about his work is impeccable. Okay, Mr. Build Right on Facebook. You can find it on there with the little green man logo that Moan made.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I made that.
Yeah. And anything else anybody want to say before we get out of here?
Tampa by 7. Love you too. Love you too, Phil.
Anything you want to plug, Moan? Stiz? Anything you selling? We selling. We all selling stuff around here. You ain't selling nothing.
Hustle, man.
The merch, man.
It's
Get
good
that
to see
The
everybody.
merch. Get that
Everybody
merch.
looking good.
Yeah,
healthy.
good to see you too,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Glad you were back.
Get healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the mission. man.
Spirit, mind, body.
That's the mission. Get right.
Yeah.
Get righteous.
right.
And
Right,
don't forget your
just-
spirit, man. Build your spirit, man.
Yeah. Thanks to Rachel and John holding it down over there. I know we had some difficulties today, but it all worked out.
Seems like it's
We'll do
all
s-
chord issues.
Anybody who wanted music, we'll do it next week. I promise. And happy birthday again to Rachel. Belated
Yeah.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
So we'll see you guys next week. Oh, hold on. Let me get the. Oh, before we do that, I gotta make things right. I gotta do it the right way.
Going
This is
there.
just like Freddie's podcast with the I'll Be Damned. We'll see you guys next week on Young Lion TV.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people in, woo.